Valamilyen szobát kell keresnünk, ha jól emlékszem. Olyan szobát, aminek köze van ahhoz ahhoz a festményhez, amit írt az anyánk. És akkor ott lesz valami, ami nekünk kell. Ezt magamnál tartom. Nem akartam beszélni ezzel a csövessel. Hogy szed minket az ember?
Yes, I noticed that your eminence knew a fair number of people at the table.
Benefit of age, my son. This isn't my first invitation to Lord Mortimer. You will see, it's the perfect place to make new friends. Indeed, I noticed that you and Mr. Bonaparte had already begun.
I adapt quickly to local customs. It's what I was taught.
And you are right to do so. But tell me, have you had any news of your mother since your arrival?
Alas, still nothing, Your Eminence. But I still haven't been able to meet Lord Mortimer.
Do not worry. It is typical of him. What can I say? Lord Mortimer is a very busy man. I should think you are beginning to worry.
Well, I must admit, Your Eminence, indeed it does worry me.
I understand. But continue to have faith in yourself. You will see, I'm sure, in a few days we'll all be laughing together.
That's all I hope for, Your Eminence. But while I have you with me, I have a question for you.
What can I do for you?
Igen, azt kell, ahol az összes szem size you up. Aha, I'm looking for a medusa. Megkérdezem, de nem hiszem, hogy annyira... Itt nagyon ilyen görög cuccok vannak, nem? Most azért ő meg keresztény. Most lehet, hogy nem sokat tud ezekről a dolgokról. Ja, megkérdeztem.
Where all eyes size you up, would it mean anything to you?
I don't know if it's the place you're looking for, but it makes me think of the portrait gallery.
There's a gallery here? Can you tell me where to find it, please?
Of course. Just go to the door. It will lead into the library. Continue all the way through, and you'll end up. You'll see it, Louis. When you get there, you'll know.
Thank you very much, Your Eminence. On that last word, then I shall leave you to fight your demons. See you later, Your Eminence.
See you later.
Oké. Még nem megyünk oda. Hát a körbenézünk, kellenek ezek a cuccok nekünk. Nagyon sok pillangó. Hes. Itt ki tudok nézni, ezt már csináltam, de nagyon félelmetes. Miért nem raktak ide egy korlátot, most komolyan? A játék szerencsére nem engedi, hogy beessek. Felvettem Collector Coint. Na, itt vagyunk mi most. És azt mondja, hogy itt kell végigmenni, és itt lesz valami könyvtár, és a könyvtár után lesz a portrés múzeumos cucc, viszont nézzünk, keresünk valami másik, valami lehetőségeket, hogy valamit tudod, hogy esetleg valamit, hogy merre tudnánk még menni, hogy tudunk-e csinálni ezt a...
Discourse on the Method by Descartes. It's Circe preparing wine. What better chapter this is?
Nagyon tetszik ebben a játékban az a skill-es cucc, az a skill rendszer, tudod, hogy neked kell beválogatnod, hogy milyen cuccokat szeretnél. Vissza tudom venni. Jó. Szeretnék körbenézni sok helyen. Mit szólsz?
Nézzük körbe.
The only person sighting up here is that monument to Zeus. Can't be here.
Nem aggódik, hogy nem vagyunk jó helyen. De kíváncsi vagyok, hogy mondjuk vissza tudok-e menni. Ja, itt ez a csöves. Az a jó, hogy most úgy van vele a játék, hogy nem tudom, hogy hova kell mennem. Kimenni nem tudok. Ugye? Kimenni nem tudok. Felmenni nem akarok, de meg akarom nézni, hogy fel tudnék-e menni. Nem tudnék felmenni, és ide be. Jó. Most bemegyek ide a kajálós helyre. Royal Jelly.
There's a pattern with 5 circles on his chest.
Az nem jó. De állokolni tudom. Azaz. Ezek mit?
I've retrieved everything.
Golden Elixir. Ó, nagyon jó, nagyon jó.
Chronicles of the Amber Princess. As I recall, Dorothy was my favorite character. Chronicles of the Amber Princess. As I recall, Dorothy was my favorite character.
Erre nem tudnék menni. Oké. Akkor mehetünk tovább. Szóval szerintem nekem eddig nagyon bejön ez a játék. Én ezt...
De azt mondod, ez nem rossz. Elég nehéz.
Nagyon nehéz, nagyon nehéz.
Kettő fontosabb ember is nagyon elfúrtuk.
Hát ja, de lehet, hogy később még jók leszünk. De ki a faszom akar Napóleonnal azért.
Hát nem azt mondom, csak hogy azért, hogy szerintem itt nagyon stratégiázni kell. Hogy azért lehet a legtöbb embertől a legtöbb dolgot megtud, nem?
Ja.
Hogy azért jó kapcsolatot kiépíteni velük.
Igen.
Dining on hand. Well, that's very appetizing. The rock is surrounded by a triple circle.
Ez sincs kulcsom.
Andok. És akkor adom először.
Nem tudom.
Right. We've retrieved everything.
Azaz.
A devil's thorn can be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
Ha. Jó, már mindjárt fel leszek töltve lassan mindennel. Ullok, jövök. Ó, 4 olyan szar összejött, ezért kaptam még egy olyan genyót? Vagy nem? Még nem. Én sem tudom. Nagyon jó. 3, 3, 2. Hát jók vagyunk. Nem akarom még felhasználni őket. Azt a rohadt! Jó van, az egy kicsike könyvtár. Már 5 golden elixir van nálam. Szóval hogy lesz valami negatív effekt. Vannak olyan cuccok, amik negatív effektet adnak. Tehát amikor betöltünk a Napóleonnak a helyére, akkor utána olyan negatív effektem volt, olyan negatív effektem volt, hogy rossz volt neki. Tehát, hogy nem láthattam volna azt, hogyha az idő telik, tudod, mikor van ilyen beszélgetés, és hogy telik az idő. Nem láthattam volna, hogy mennyi idő telik el. Szóval arra jó az a Golden Elixir, hogy ezeket így visszacsinálja.
Utolsó vacsora.
Kizárt az eredeti. Azt mondta, mindenre azt mondta, hogy...
Mondjuk itt van egy jó pár híres kép amúgy.
Gondolom mi is ismerjük azt, amiről beszél az a...
Chances are, that's the one my mother spoke. And she also spoke of Medusa. Should go and try to find the creature now? Allegory regarding the declaration of the rights of man. That's the least you could say. Liberty or death by Vigneault.
Well, I'll take liberty, please.
Oh, painting by Anne. Molière dining with Louis XIV. The king's posture is surprising, and it's almost as if he's addressing someone in the symbol. Celebrate. It means nothing to me.
Nem tudok olyan képről, ami Medusa lenne híresebbről.
Szoborról.
De le tudok ülni. Papá. Szobor talán, de... Ez mi?
Ezt évtizedre.
Collector coin.
Nem mész megnézni a képet?
Melyiket?
Biztos vannak még.
Ja, de nézzegetem. Mindjárt.
Christ crucified by the last days. Look, someone's left a note there. Reserved for the Duke of Aquileia.
Lefoglalták ezt a képet.
Utolsó vacsi.
Nem tudom felszedni. Túl sok Golden Elixir van nála. Oké. Az igen. Ilyen nagy amúgy.
Leonardo da Vinci. The last day before his crucifixion, Jesus announces that he will be betrayed by one of his disciples.
Felvett, hogy el van rendezve, hogy itt az utolsó vacsora, ott szembe velem már meg kell szólni.
Igen.
Jó, ezt is vágom. A katonám is írja.
Nem engedi megnézni. Vannak, amiket enged megnézni, vannak, amiket nem.
A meeting between Louis XIV and Philippe V. I wonder why Mortimer was particularly fond of this painting. The Company by Rembrandt.
Ez többször ott van. Menj fel.
Na megvan. 4.
A fragment of amber.
Nézd, ez a kép, ez többször is ott van.
Aha. Kapja.
Aha, ez többször is ott van valahol. Itt a szobában.
The Fall of Phaeton. Another painting by Rubens. Poor Phaeton, struck by lightning, borrows all his cherished and Rome feeleth his death is near. Ah, François Ier, receiving the Holy Family. A Amber.
Johnny Depp, mikor beszállnak az ágyába. Amber. Megnéztük azt a szobát, ugye?
Nem.
Mi nem néztük meg ezt?
Ezt ja, de ezt igen, ahol most voltál versenyben. A felsőket nem hiszem, hogy kell nézni, csak érdekes képek van.
Igen, tök jó, kurva jó.
Ott van a formában egy kép.
Igen.
Painting with no name.
Ott
Aha,
van.
a medúza.
Mondtam, szobor.
Igen. Nézzük meg körbe.
Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it.
Látod egy széket?
Honey, we couldn't have hoped for better.
Miket?
Látod, ott vannak itt is egy szobor, ott a medúza, ott oldalt is van egy
Vannak
szobor.
kis szobrok, igen.
4 szobor, és nézd meg azt, hogy mindig Herkules.
Igen, mindenki ilyen görög.
Igen, de jól megnézd, akkor ilyen pajzsot tart, meg a fejét. Nem?
Aha.
Ez nem Herkules.
Nem, az egyik egy kardot, a másik egy lámpást, a harmadik meg egy pajzsot, nem?
Igen.
Ez egy lámpa, nem? Ja. Lehet, hogy lesz értelme. Mindjárt
Szerintem
megnézzük.
lehet, hogy meg kell világítani valahogy itt a... Ezért a... Valamit be kell rakni a szemeljén, hogy villogjon, látod?
Mhm.
Ki van szedve valami a személyvel. No?
I've got to find out what Mother was trying to do with him. The Medusa. A hero armed with a sword.
Igen.
A hero with a lantern. And the last one holding a shield.
I'll stake my life on it. All the statues form a single scene here. The poor devils are about to face the beast. Let's give them a helping hand.
Igen, mindenkinek a arc felé kéne nézzem.
Ja.
Mi? Ja,
What?
én szerintem mindegyiknek a medúza felé kéne néznem, nem? Vagy van valami kép, amire
Nem
ez...
lehet, hogy a medúzának kéne, hogy a saját tükörképe megbassza? A sír,
Mit csináltam?
a fény.
Ja, levettem egy könyvet
Origin
valami.
myths. A
Uh-huh.
reinterpretation of legendary creatures. Just what I need.
Berlin
Text is in
Convenience.
French on the left-hand page and in Latin on the right hand. Let's
Okay.
find a chapter on the Medusa.
Most tudni kéne.
This
Maybe
version is significantly different from the regular one. It recounts how men have always belittled women in society. Harpies, mermaids, chimera, hydra, the gorgons.
A section of the Medusa.
While some of the heroes divert attention from the gorgon, the hero with the sword brandishes his weapon, the Medusa.
Okay.
Hang on. This version is significantly different from the regular one. It recounts how men have always belittled women in society. Harpies, mermaids,
Yeah.
chimera, hydra, the gorgons.
A section of the Medusa.
While some of the heroes divert attention from the gorgon, the hero with the sword brandishes his weapon, the Medusa.
Akkor a kardosabb.
Kardosat kell felé fordítanom, szerinted?
Jó lenne, kézzel tudtuk volna. Az én első vizem az lett volna, hogy valahogy úgy kell megcsinálni, hogy ez van. Hogy a pajzs, a fény, meg ilyenek is felé.
Oké.
The clue I found said, "Beware hero. The beast always charges the best protected. That is its weakness." That's the key. The best protected hero is the one holding the shield. Thank you, Mother.
Mi?
Jó, akkor arra fordul, amerre a shieldes van, aha.
Nem lehet a medúza felé. Oké.
Na jó van itt, nem?
Nem tudom.
Think. To vanquish the beast, the statues have to be lined up in a specific order. What
Igen.
can the shield be for? To protect its holder? Why not? But in that case, what's the lantern for? Step back and take a second, Lily. Be logical, but open-minded. Think outside the box. Nobody said a statue has to have only one use. I wonder if the lantern was to distract the Medusa. This shield can both protect the holder and also reflect the light from the lantern to distract the beast. In other words, I'll have to make an angle of 90 degrees between the lantern and the Medusa by turning the shield to face the sword. If Mortimer's the one who thought of all this stuff, then honestly, he must have a screw loose. Crazy idea, but worth a shot.
Jól értelmeztem, hogy akkor a lámpás felé kell?
Elterelje?
Hát, hogy a...
Looks right, but nothing's happening. Maybe, in this position, here with the shield, he's just dazzling his colleague.
Nem jön neki a shieldes?
Igen, azt még szerintem a medúza felé kéne, nem?
Várjál, hogyha a swordos felé, akkor pont úgy van, hogy így... Megvan. Ja, mert hogy... Hogyha a swordos felé megy, akkor pont olyan szögbe van, hogy így rámegy a fény is, meg védekezik is. Azt a mindenit.
Wow! For Pete's sake, Emily! You scared the pants off me. Don't ever do that again.
Well, keep your nose out of my business then.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop fooling around and tell me what you're doing here.
I've discovered a hidden message from my mother. She explains how to find the secret room. Something must have attracted her here, so I've come to check it out. And you? What brings you here?
My, you're curious.
Let me guess.
Go on then, impress me.
Melyik legyen?
Nem tudom. Vagy humorizáljuk el, vagy az, hogy mondjuk meg egy keresett valamit.
Valakit. Vagy pedig... Vagy keresett valakit, vagy pedig a Mortimer után nyomoz.
Nem tudom. Someone.
You're looking for somebody. Your silence speaks volumes. I must have got it right. And you will go to great lengths to find them. So, this person means a lot to you.
Well, no matter. I'll tolerate your presence this one time. Now, since you're here, make yourself useful. Look around on your side. I'll do the same on mine. And if you find anything of interest, let me know.
Yeah, in your dreams. At your service, madam.
Nem tudom elolvasni, meg megnézni a szimbólukat. Balfasz vagyok ehhez.
The golden fleece.
Ó!
Freezing, hurry up.
Aranygyapjú.
Igen?
Cold? You want a rub? It'll warm you up.
I wouldn't be caught dead in that horrible thing.
That's a pity. The gold color brings out your eyes.
And your flattery brings out your boorishness.
Na várjál, használom a aranygenyót. Mert nem láttam azért, hogy mikor telik le az idő. A gondolkodó ember.
Tényleg? Van de...
An unofficial gospel.
Nem hiszem, mert ez
More
kisebb.
likely to find this kind of book at the Vatican.
Nothing special. The library at Buckingham has 3.
I bet you've read them cover to cover.
Naturally.
Really? I'm curious. Tell me, what part stood out the most to you?
The passage where Mary says to Joseph, "Hey, you, shut up."
In other words, you haven't even opened one.
Mortimer's the author of this work. He talks about his passion for art.
Még vannak még itt, ez érdekes.
Igen.
Ó, miért az koszorú...
Guess what I found?
The Holy
Go ahead.
Grail.
Older than that.
A piece of Noah's Ark.
Not that old.
This could be ours. Just tell me.
Caesar's laurel wreath. The workmanship in this crown is amazing. The finesse of the gold laurel leaves is beautiful. A crown worthy of an emperor. I'd stake my life that it's the genuine article.
Cézári, ugye?
I can just see Mortimer
Hát igen,
dressed in
azok
a
Cézárok voltak, hogy Július, Viszont mindig.
Mint a császároknak a idéje.
Aha, a miért is koszorú.
Why? He's eccentric, like all the English are, isn't he?
Well, if Peru stands for French grace, then if I were you, I wouldn't be making that sort of remark.
This is excellent.
Looks like a pamphlet on different political regimes, written by Mortimer himself.
You should see the sword, Emily. It's magnificent.
I'm busy. Describe it to me.
This weapon is typically French, quite old, undoubtedly goes back to the Crusades. If it is a true damask sword, it's worth more than a kingdom.
Nem. Akkor ez lesz, nem?
It really does look like Joan of Arc's sword.
The thing is made of oleum. One of your favorite historical heroines.
You bet. Given the number of English butts she kicked.
And we all know where that got her. When you finished playing, maybe you can help me search the place?
Hallgassál. Jó múlik. Nem?
Igen.
Ki van még? De ha az aranydeplő ott van, akkor az egész Excalibur. Mi? Volt még egy csomó minden.
Interesting. A manor in Maine, hundreds of acres of land in Catalonia, properties in Shanghai. Incredible. Some of these deeds are over 600 years old, and all signed by the hand of Mortimer.
I wonder if that's what inspired my mother's attention. How come all these documents have Mortimer's signature on them?
Do you think all these properties really belong to him?
See those fine scratches around the words?
Yes, and?
The ink barely spreads on the paper. It spreads exactly the same way on the signature. The deed was written using the same ink. If it is a fake, then it's a professional job.
Tehát Mortimernek az aláírás ott van?
Mindegyikben.
Fú, baszki. És azt mondja, hogy vagy az, hogy halhatatlan Mortimer, vagy az, hogy több Mortimer van.
Mindig van egy Mortimer.
Igen. Vagy az, hogy ez kamu. Halhatatlan?
Talán.
Maybe Mortimer is immortal, or capable of living for a very long time, like Methuselah.
A first smile. Careful. Keep that up and soon you'll end up laughing.
Carry on sprouting inanities like that, and indeed I might. These documents are intriguing, but do you really think that's what attracted your mother's attention here?
I don't know. She was obsessed with Mortimer, and I must confess, these property deeds are troubling.
If that's the case, why would she have left them?
Once again, I don't know. We'll have to ask her when we find her.
Simán lehet, hogy
And what's
a
your
van
take?
örökkélettitkát vágják, hogy amit átvisztani a végén ezt a könyvet, nem? Meg a srác is konkrétan látja jövőt, meg ilyenek. Miért is ne lehetne valami, amiért a
No
céltokat,
doubt he
nem?
has a major passion for history and fine art, or getting gifts.
If each time Mortimer does someone a favor, they reward him with a priceless gift, that means he must have helped nearly everybody in the world. I wonder why my mother didn't make it clear what she was interested in here.
She didn't have time to write it down, or maybe she wasn't sure of what she was looking for.
Or she wanted to protect her discoveries. It's disturbing.
You'll just have to search the rest of the room. Maybe you'll find something.
Na.
What is that you found?
A cameo pendant. What's going on?
Nothing.
For crying out loud, Emily, you lunged for that jewel like your life depended on it. Tell me what this is about.
No. We just met, Leo. I like you, but I can't just suddenly open myself up like a book to you.
Listen, Emily. It seems pretty obvious to me that you haven't come here for the sole purpose of sampling Mortimer's cellar. Stop all the clever evasion and just trust me.
And why the hell should I place my trust in you, Leo?
Talán.
Hát... Tudjuk ezt, vagy pedig az Because I Trust You szerintem? Vagy pedig ez, hogy nem akarlak, nem azért, hogy bántsalak. Meg legyen. Ez?
When are you going to understand that I just want to help you?
What do you expect? That I'll fall into your arms and say yes to everything you want?
What are you talking about? I'm only asking you to trust me a little. If only on principle as a member of the Golden Order, for example.
I'll admit you are fairly reliable.
That's it? I was expecting more.
Well, I'm prepared to trust you when it comes to choosing the French cheese. But I've nothing to gain by confiding in you any further than that.
Nothing to gain? Damn it, Emily! I'm only trying to help you. Stop needing to gain something all the time.
Because you think I need help?
Just like everyone. You have your strengths and your weaknesses. And there's no use pretending otherwise.
Ha! And I bet you found out where I'm weak, haven't you?
Hogy?
Mi? Kitaláltam. Ja, most nem tudom megnézni.
Nem, mit akarsz?
Hát, hogy mibe weak? Hol a nő? Psychology. Analizáljam a karakterét?
De ott van egy ilyen weakness in psychology.
Toljam azt, vagy mi legyen?
Ő abban gyenge, nem?
Hát izé szerint igen, de én sem tudom még értelmezni.
Jó, akkor nem tudom, vagy ez, vagy a psychology, vagy ez, ami most van, vagy a weakness in psychology.
Hát...
Pragmatic, intelligent, sure of herself. Only weak spot is our difficulty talking about herself.
I don't know much about your past, but I'm guessing you had to get by on your own for much of your life. It might have closed you off, and that can be a disadvantage. It might be time for you to open up and risk a little trust. Not every man you meet wants to hurt you.
Yes, you may be right. I might have some weaknesses, but I don't need your help to overcome them. And I'm simply not contemplating collaborating with anyone at this time. Do you understand?
Vagy másról fogad el vizét, vagy szeretnéd dolgozni.
Melyik legyen?
Van egy partner. Nem tudom.
Melyik legyen?
She prefers to work alone, talán.
Toljuk azt?
Nem biztos, hogy.
Yes. You're the kind of girl who gets by on her own and who shares nothing.
The fact is, you are completely mistaken about me. I
Így
already have
lehet.
a work partner.
Aha, igen, erre is gondoltam.
I don't doubt that your abilities will be of use to me, but I already have all that, thanks to my teammate.
Is there any chance you might tell me who he is?
No, I've already said too much. Consider yourself lucky I've even given you this much. It's extremely rare, believe me.
Come on, don't stop now that you've come this far. You know that eventually I'll end up making you talk.
Well, since no one can resist you, let's see if you can guess who my partner is.
You're a gambler. So, your partner is...
Darja.
Várjál. Remember who was affected by the camel. Ez?
Aha.
Your sister. She's your partner. She's the one you're looking for.
Well, I am impressed. How the devil did you guess I had a sister? Virtually no one even knows. When it comes to getting results, you are very good, I grant you that. You deserve to know why the sight of the cameo pendant affected me so strongly. I thought it belonged to Emma, my twin sister.
Oh. Now I get why you said you had a
Igen.
memory for two.
Yes.
Igen, ezt emlékszel, hogy ezt mondta.
Important to what extent, though. As children, everyone got us mixed up. So one day we decided to play along. Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily
awesome.
Hillsborough. The woman with two faces.
Clever. But isn't it complicated? How do you make it work?
One of us has no existence in the outside world. We share everything. First for one, then for the other. We dress the same, wear the same makeup, we speak the same. We've learned to act as one. When we accept a mission, we both turn up. This time, though, she went ahead and I was meant to wait for her on the mainland. She was meant to meet Sir Home and bring back the details so we could work out who would follow up.
And there was a problem?
She was supposed to return from Mortimer's 1 week ago. The boat turned up at Plymouth.
Mi volt, ha azt láttuk, hogy megölik őt?
My sister.
Igen, erre én is gondoltam, hogy ez a múlt.
Message from home,
Nem?
notifying me of her sudden disappearance.
Mert akkor így lehet itt a csaj.
My
Hogy
mother
ők
and
ketten
your
vannak.
sister go missing just a few days apart. That's strange. Maybe their disappearances are linked.
That's clearly a possibility, but up to now I haven't found a trace of either of them.
None of this is very reassuring.
By the way, Louis, now that you are in on the secret, you are obliged to keep it to yourself, or you will pay very dearly.
Don't worry. Your secret is safe with me.
It's time to leave.
Ne, még külön akartam nézni. Mondod minden. Mondod, nagyon jó sok minden.
Kurva jó.
So, what do you think of our first adventure?
I must admit it has been fun by your side.
Same here.
Oh, she's been drinking too much again.
Louis, I need to talk to you right now.
Good evening, Elizabeth. Actually, this is not a good time.
I'm
Ez sok
begging you,
tett
please
volna
don't go
ilyen.
alone.
I'll be waiting for you in your room, but don't be late.
I was sure there was a certain je ne sais quoi between us.
We need to talk now.
Jealousy.
Otherwise it'll be too late.
It looks like Elizabeth really needs me, but if I start talking to her, for sure Emily won't wait for me. What should I do?
Mi a fasz csinálja?
Ez sok sátorista dolog rajta.
Nem tudom. Je ne sais quoi, vagy pedig Elizabeth?
Nem tudom, ott is ezt a csajt azt mondod, ez nagyon fura, mi történhetett, miért kellett az anyjának ennyire meg. És mi van?
Én se tudom.
De Elizabeth, Emily, bocsánat meg,
De mi a faszt akarhat?
nem tudom. Emilyvel most mennénk fölbenyítni a dolgokat.
Igen.
Neki is eltűnt a testvére, ahogy a formának az anyja. Viszont mi azt akarta Izabel?
Ja, és az a baj, hogy egyiket választod, a másikat nem lehet, hogy rohadjon meg ez a kurva játék.
Igen, amikor elindulnánk egy vonalon, mindig beleszarik a játék, hogy oké, amikor elkezdünk spanolni Washingtonnal, csináljunk valamit, akkor beleszarik, hogy amúgy egy csajt kell így írni.
Igen.
Amikor meg most elindulnánk, ez a csak olyan mindig, amikor közel járni.
Nem tudom.
Múltkor is.
Ah,
Nem tudom, mit akar, de mi történhet, nem? Így, de
melyik legyen?
nem tudom. Megint ezt a csajt válasszuk?
Nem tudom. Tényleg nem tudom, fogalmam
De akkor
sincs.
basznak,
Az a
hogy
baj, hogy mind a
mit akar.
kettő jó, mind a kettő rossz. Tehát, hogy nem az, hogy az egyik kevésbé rossz, másik meg kevésbé jó, mind a kettő jó szerintem.
Mind a kettő valószínűleg jó, csak valamit nem tudunk meg. Más megközelítésből látjuk akkor.
Igen.
Nem tudom. Érdekes. Miért rohant így ki? Mik azok a tetkók?
Nem tudom, én se akarom így itt hagyni. Viszont tök jó az, hogy már Emilyvel meg már vagyunk valami, és hogy végre jó.
Meg hogy eljutottunk arra, hogy megkísérhetünk valakiért, tehát hogy nagyjából tök hasonló módon nyomozunk. Nem is olyan rossz.
És az a baj, hogy kettőt nem lehet egyszerre.
És
mi legyen?
Később még csatlakozhatunk Emilyhez?
Hát épp ez az, hogy azt mondta, hogy ne várassam meg annyira.
Akkor nem tudom, akkor figyelj, elindultunk Emily felé,
Ja,
de nem tudom, a másik mit akartak.
én se tudom.
De ez is lehet, hogy a csaj meg valami olyat talált, amit a beszalál.
Igen, menjünk Emilyhez szerintem.
Excuse me, Elizabeth, but some very urgent business has cropped up. We can speak tomorrow.
No, Louis, don't leave me alone. They've come back.
Good night.
Kik?
Szegény.
They come back, the kik.
Well, Louis, what did our poor Elizabeth want?
Tudja fasz.
Elfeledett gyümölcs? Forbidden, ugye?
Igen?
Ez az elfeledett?
Aha.
She probably wanted to chat more about my mother.
Really? So Miss Adams is somehow linked to your...
De nem, most csak zsöröszök kvázi jöttünk ide?
She is.
Igen, igen.
But
Hát akkor
I
lehet, hogy
thought I'll
másik
have to
irányba
wait
kellett
and take
volna
a look.
menni.
Úgy néz ki.
Jó, igen, ez is jó,
Nem
csak...
Witcher meglátás volt.
I misunderstood something. What are you doing in my room?
And for a while now, the question has been nagging at me.
Mi van akkor, ez a
And that
másik
is
csaj?
why I now find you
Nem
here
hiszem.
in my bed. Go ahead. Ask me the question that's been burning in
Nem
my
bele
mind.
kellett volna menni. Ne, megbántam. Kik jönnek? Mire akarsz
Várjál.
So
figyelni?
that's what's been hiding behind all this.
We are both members of the Order. Let's try to be honest with each other. I have followed with great interest your very plans. In connection with Mr. von Borchardt, you managed to steal something from him, if I'm not mistaken.
Mit loptam el?
Fájdet.
Elloptam egy könyvet.
Ne. Akkor tudjuk a könyv.
Mondjuk el?
Ne.
Mi azt, hogy ne? Hát mondja, hogy ne legyünk izék.
Jó.
Are you talking about the book of all mysteries? Al-Azif?
That's right, Louis. A valuable bit of plunder, isn't it?
Yeah. When we finally found it, we took it.
And where is the book right now?
Amazingly, it's right here.
Az a könyv még az elejéről.
Aha.
This is quite fascinating. But just what did Sarah expect to accomplish here?
Ja, azt akarja, hogy beszéljek.
It's fairly obvious that you're still trying to extract information from me.
Not at all, my friend. You obviously have a dark view of humanity. One can't chat about anything without you seeing something important.
Oh, don't get your panties all in a bunch. Okay, fine. My mother thought she might find the buyer of Von Borchart's book here. I think she thought he'd be one of the people here on the island right now.
Oh, I see. Right. Enough chatting. Come and join me instead.
Hát, most már úgyis mindegy. Nem?
Most már mindegy, legalább ezt kapjuk.
Ja.
Legalább a kufrészéjjel már csorízének nem segítettünk. Ki
Szegény.
tudja, hogy kik jönnek, érted?
Nem tudom.
Lehet, hogy csaj az, aki tud többet, mert állam volt az amulett, hogy ilyenek, lehet, hogy arra
Hát meg azt mondta, hogy, és nem tűnt kamunak az, hogy az anyja,
Igen.
You're right.
anya,
Have a good night.
anya bántalmazta a lányt konkrétan.
Sure thing.
Ez is úgy, nagyon rosszul játszanák ezt a játékot. Nem?
Lehet, hogy akkor is ezt éreznénk, hogyha a másik oldalon lennénk. Melyik az?
Na, mi történt? Ez sok idő van itt most.
Lord Mortimer, Monsieur de Richet. Last we meet.
Na végre?
Mi?
Na, úgy néz ki, nem féleltünk semmit.
Na. Így kellett.
Többet, hát annyit tudtunk volna, hogy többet ki tudtunk volna találni Elizabethről meg az anyámról, de amúgy úgy néz ki, hogy jól csináltuk szerintem.
Csak vele. Hát, hogy értékelte, hogy megfogtuk a csaj.
Lehet.
Értékelte.
Na nézzük.
Hát én már nem tudom, milyen skilleket kellene leállni.
Nehéz, nagyon nehéz kitalálni. Ezt nem is... Jó, de tudnám. A tudomány ez meg van. Hát figyelj, én azt mondom, hogy azokat, amik...
Azt kéne, arra lehet, hogy
Ezt?
erre volt szükség már, nem?
Erre, ja, a language, ezt
Igen,
tud.
igen, múltkor könnyebb lett volna.
Igen, igazad lehet.
Ezért.
Oké.
Az adjunk mindegyiknek egy kis löketet szerintem.
Hát azt nézem, hogy mi az, amiből 3-as, és akkor az, tehát hogy amit 3-at lehet, látod itt van.
Aha.
Jó lesz. Vége. Oké. Hát ez volt az első. Itt jön a második. Gondolom én. Continue? Igen, continue.
Kiveszed azt?
Jaj.
Ilyen.
Új, na, végre megjelent Mortimer is.
Hogy tetszik amúgy?
Volt egy olyan tippem, hogy a Mortimer igazából az egyikhez szolgál.
How many times must I tell you?
Új.
You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer. I just never wanted to tell you why. We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible.
Without your help, hundreds of men would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Egy nagyon sok izért kellett volna a szövetséges keresni,
Torture and charge.
nem?
Igen?
An agreement for Clarence. Lord Mortimer assures you that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother. Johann Christoph von Wulm, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet.
I do apologize for being late. I was obliged to clear up some urgent business.
Miért van ott a muterum?
Igen.
Ezt meg tudom használni? Még nem. Na, ezt már összegyűjtöttem. És akkor Science... Jó, ez jó lesz, mert ez több. Ez sok. Sok skill pontot ad, azt fogjuk most használni. Aha, júj, kettőt is lehet. Jó, akkor lehet még ez, meg ez, logika. Legyen a logika, vagy art. Mindegyikre szükség van, szóval legyen az art.
Ne, ez olyan, mint aminek ki lehet. Nem?
Igen.
And I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was of course in the hope that you would help us find your mother. However, there may be some new developments, but I don't know if they are linked to your mother. We have found Elizabeth Adams' body in her room. I'm afraid she was brutally murdered, stabbed several times.
Hát megölték.
Ide.
Belefutottam este, vagy kitette? Megkérdezem, azt mondtam, hogy...
I can't believe it. We bumped into each other last night on our way to bed.
Yes, I know. Duchess Hillsborough informed us that she accompanied you at the beginning of the evening. You apparently bumped into Miss Adams, who wanted to speak to you. We are told you turned her away, and she went away on her own.
That's correct.
Do you know what she wanted to see you about, by any chance?
Legyek őszinte ez a csávóval, vagy?
Hát nem tudom semmit kb. Nem?
She seemed
Hát
upset
jó, de
about
azt mondta, hogy...
something. I thought she was under the influence of alcohol, but we didn't really speak.
Pity. The poor child was probably trying to find help.
I thought it could wait until tomorrow.
Apparently not. Louis, I shan't hide the fact that this tragedy puts me in a very delicate situation. I cannot risk upsetting the smooth operation of our next conference. But the case cannot remain unaddressed. I must reassure my guests, and justice will be done. And for that to happen, I must ask for your help.
Why is that?
You met Elizabeth. You spoke together, I believe. She trusted you. Listen, find out who could have committed this murder. I refuse to believe that one of my guests is the murderer. I want to know who is responsible for this. And I trust you. You have my backing. Must stop at nothing. Can I count on you?
Of course. How would you like me to proceed?
Maybe you can start by going to the scene of the crime. Elizabeth was attacked in her room.
Do you have any suspects in mind, my lord?
I spent most of the night talking with Sir Gregory and His Eminence Piaggi, so I think you can remove them from the list of suspects. Monsieur Bonaparte and President Washington left the party after midnight, I believe.
Washington meg Napoleon.
Can you tell me anything else about what happened?
No, Louis, I wouldn't want to influence you. Get over there and form your own opinion.
Hát mi a csajjal voltunk, nem?
Ja.
Right. I'll get over there immediately.
Thank you, Louis. And once you've finished, come back and let me know your findings. I'll be waiting.
De többes számba beszélt a csaj.
Got permission to search through the guests' rooms. They will be notified when I agree.
Igen.
Oké.
Igen, de most mi láthatok valami élni, vagy így?
Ó, te!
Mondom, ez ilyen izé.
Megint ott van. Nem tudom, hogy ennek meg kellett volna történnie.
Hát azt mondta,
Nem tudom, hogy ezt megtudtuk volna.
Szóval valószínű, hogy így úgy is meghalt volna. Szerintem, ha rá is jönünk dolgok,
Aran.
azért,
Mi?
hogy holnap megbeszéljük, vagy valami ilyesmit, vagy csak is halottan találjuk szerintem.
Aha.
Nem? Valószínű, hogyha nem írtak ki a izét, akkor mondtak valami, hogy majd ki kellett tenni.
Aha.
Így is úgy is megölték volna, nem? Szerintem.
Igen.
De megölték volna, csak akkor a csajjal lógunk, és akkor megbeszéltük volna, hogy izé volna. Nem? Ez mi?
Hát ki lehet nyitni egy ilyen, ezért nem tudom, hogy. Ezt miért, hogy tudnám kinyitni? Nehogy izé, már csak veszem fel a dolgokat.
Some of that water will give me a little reprieve. The nightmare painted by Fusilier in 1781.
Van nála valami? Az a jó, hogy nem tudom megmondani neked. Telltale játékokban meg tudnám mondani, hogy valószínű, hogy ez mindenképp így kellett lennie, hogy semmit nem tudtunk volna tenni ellen, de ebben a játékban nem tudom megmondani, hogy most ez, ahogy mit csináltuk, az most jó, hogy így is úgy is meghalt volna a csaj. Jó, belegondolva biztos, hogy nem kurálni kellett volna. Szerintem már semmire nem derült fény. Azt hittem, hogy több én nem tudtam, hogy ebből ez lesz, azt hittem, hogy valami izé.
Your Eminence, I imagine that you've heard the news about Miss Adams.
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble. It's probably not.
Okay.
Not to worry, Your Eminence. If he is innocent, then he has nothing to fear. Do you know why Monsieur Bonaparte was hanging around her room like that?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that the dashing young soldier had become infatuated with a fragile young woman who looked lost. But I don't think he got a very warm welcome.
Bonaparte and Adams? But they didn't even know each other, did they?
I couldn't say that. But if I were you, my son, I would talk to Monsieur Pell. You remember how violently he set upon Miss Adams.
Oh, don't worry.
Túl
He's on the
egyértelmű
list
lenne,
of
nem?
suspects.
Jó, próbáljuk ezt a ládát kinyitni valahogy. 3 betű. Nem tudom, hogy... És mindegyiket meg lehet változni. Jó, mutatom. Ezt az E betűt, ezt én csináltam, de söbetű volt először. Nem tudom, hogy milyen...
Gordon!
igen, és arra gondoltam.
I. Ennek az elejére tudna ez I.
Elejére? Elejére lehet A-t, C-t, Z-t, E-t.
E.
E.
N.
Lehet a második betű. R, B, E, N.
N? Lehet?
Nem. R, B, E, A. Bocsánat.
Akkor nem. Az első betű lehet Z.
Igen.
Jó.
Oké.
Második betű lehet E.
Igen.
Jó. Harmadik betű lehet U.
Igen.
És az utolsó lehet S.
Igen.
Jó.
Szép. Hogy jöttél rá?
Nem tudom, csak gondoltam, nagyon szeretek a görög mitológiát. Nagyon ilyen olyan helyen, ilyen oszlopok vannak, úgy néz ki, mint az isteneknek a üzéje fent az Olimpuszon.
Szép, szép.
És gondoltam, ha már ennyire istenkomplexusos, és a görög kultúrát szereti, miért leszhetni Zeus?
Tökéletes. Szép volt. Kétszerzikó. Ja, itt voltunk fent. Megint körbe kell menni, nincs mese. Békészene van. Ez képest, hogy mi történt.
Hát, úgy vannak, hogy zárulás, meg ilyenek, ezek minden hitköthetők.
Van még egy kulcsunk amúgy, ami félkör alakú volt. Még be tudok menni. Menjünk be. És egy Peru.
Meg ránéztem nagyobb a betűkre, és láttam, hogy az elgazás meg az úgy.
What do you want from me, Dorishe?
Greetings. It's fallen to me
Cut
that...
the crap! Get to the point. We both know why you're here.
And have you got anything to tell me?
It doesn't matter. It's too late anyway. Do what you have to do and get out.
It's never too late, sir. If you have something to say, now is the time.
You don't understand. Everything's already written. It's over.
Why is he behaving like the perfect culprit? What is it that's already written? I'm not sure I follow you.
No, you don't.
Nézzük át a
Szóval
szobát.
nem ő volt, de rá akarok tenni.
Four circles.
Nagyon jó.
Ez igen. Levelek.
Levelek.
Dear Mr. Pepper, I'm writing to thank you for the funds you sent. These funds will equal Spaceland. I'll retrieve it later. Dear Mr. Pepper, Spaceland. I'll retrieve it later.
Mi?
Aztán is mondom,
The Massacre of the Innocents, but by Van
Igen?
Harmon. I think
Nem
that
tudok
Morgan
lenni
likes to
ezzel
play
papírját.
mind games with his guests. Great. Right. The Massacre of the Innocents by Rubens. I'll pick Luna. Guess my Luna is not that bad.
Nézd ki, mindenkinek a szobáját végig kell nézni. Mi csinál? Kimenni nem tudom.
hogy
Menő. Kesztyű.
Records of the police. Notes intended for the police lieutenant of Paris. It's a list of people under surveillance in Paris. And there's some well-known names on it. This is valuable information. It shouldn't be lying around. real thrill.
Mi az a széken? Ez.
Cipőkanál.
Micsoda?
Cipőkanálnak néz ki nekem. Nem tudom, ilyen régi dolog a cipőkanál.
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Még kapott egy ilyen babás képet.
Nem tudom. Te ölted meg Elizabethet, nem tudom.
I'd like to talk about the letter you read. What woman is it addressed to?
Who says it's a woman? I'm not saying any more. There's no point you insisting.
Homok volt a gépezetben.
Azért vert ennyire nőket.
Mégis?
Szerintem. Hát arra beszéltek, hogy miért szereti ennyire ütni a nőket, meg nem tudom, hogy ezt most beszélne meg vele.
Majd nem tudjuk, hogy mit
Not
mondott
quite.
cégző.
I'd like you to answer a few
Nem,
questions.
Elizabethnek adott ki.
Igen.
Amiért így bepukult. Hitting woman akkor.
Arra menjek rá, vagy menjek innen inkább?
Hitting woman.
2 days ago, I surprised you having a go at Miss Adams.
What happened? Did you want to give her another beating? She wouldn't let you push her around again, huh?
Shut up, you little shit! You have no idea what happened, and here you are, carping away. You think you're investigator of the year. Have you taken a look at yourself, Dorishe?
Didn't you get enough beating her black and blue the last time?
I did not!
Go on, keep going.
Finish what you came to do, then get out of my way.
Goodbye, sir. We shall meet again.
Probably.
Nem hiszem, hogy ez ő lenne. Ez túl egyértelmű lenne.
Nem, meg mondta, igen, ott ki volt rá, meg megütötte, de nem hiszem, hogy...
Szerintem
Valami más
vagy
miatt
Washington, vagy Napóleon.
Washington nagyon akarta megnézni a
Meg kell nézni,
Ő
izé.
nyomozott utána.
Meg kell nézni a csajnak a szabályát. Nem tudom, hogy hol van.
De már kifogolták.
Hogy miért még így beszélgetek mindenkivel, nem?
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Emily.
Emily Hillsborough. Tegnap...
Ő az? Ő az Emily, nem?
Az, akit meggyőzött.
Ja.
Adams.
Elizabeth Adams, aki
Elizabeth
nekünk kell.
Adams.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Isten, ki az? De ez még nincs is itt.
Huh, that's me.
It's me, Mario.
Ez szabálya.
Monsignor, His Eminence Carlo Piaggi.
Piaggi.
Bácsi. Hol van az ének a szabálya?
President George Washington.
George Washington. Hú, beenged minket?
Várjál.
Good day,
Monsieur
Mr. Volner,
Nem hasonlítek valaki az a formát?
Valamint ez de olyan, mint a kis... Mi az? Knifeoutból a csávó, nem? Oké.
Has anyone told you that Elizabeth was killed last night?
Keci.
Yes. Rumors spread quickly.
Mindenkinek, annak a maradék embernek elmondta az a csöves.
It's horrible. How did it happen?
Hogy
can say
nézd?
nothing to
Vala
you, sir.
tudjuk.
You'd better follow your host's instructions and stay in your quarters.
I shall leave you now, sir. I will return to my room.
Ez az a szoba szerinted? Mert ezen nincs semmi előtte.
Definitely. Itt valami nagyon rituális kitudás volt. Ez
Azt a rohadt.
nem jó jel. Ha valamit keres, csak szerintem azt, ami nálunk van. Úgy elejtett a csaj. Keci, nem hordták még innen el?
Hát, mi vagyunk a nyomozó?
Jó kis Sherlock Holmes-odás, emlékszel?
Igen.
Nézd még a plafon is, még az is getvás.
Na, igen, ilyen kulcsom van.
Még állnak valami dolgokat pedig.
Igen.
Bölcsek kövére.
Igen. Tényleg.
That tutored hand copied these lines. Looks like a healing method. The writing is barely legible.
Az lesz.
Értem, tehát tudományosan, vagy pedig ezzel a okkult gecivel?
Nézd körbe, szerinted?
Feet and hands are bound.
Szerinted?
Igen.
A piece of cloth on the mouth prevents the tongue from being sectioned. It looks like preparation for an exorcism. Is Elizabeth really possessed? The note suggests binding the feet and hands, then blocking the jaws using a piece of cloth to prevent the tongue from being sectioned. That looks like a method to control an epileptic fit. I wonder if Elizabeth is the one being treated for that illness.
Kéne ez a genyó. Legyen még ilyen... Mi a fasz? Nem szartam, hogy itt volt egy csávó, amúgy, csak mondom. Az óra.
Nézzük,
Clock
megtalált
stopped
meg.
at 3:54. It was smashed during the murder, then just established the time of the crime.
Halál be.
That would clear Italy de facto because she was still with me at the time.
Oké.
Nagyon
Akkor...
sok izék van. Nagyon sok. Nézd meg a falat, meg ilyenek, nagyon okkult is vannak itt. Szóval...
Violence of Baltimore. The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved.
Talán le vannak festve a tükörök, vagy ez csak ilyen vissza?
csak nem csúnya.
Ilyen durva, hogy a régi tükrök, amik között voltak. Egyszerre kipolyozott.
Blood spatter indicates that the woman must have held Elizabeth upright during the attack. Even if Elizabeth wasn't very big, I doubt she wouldn't put up a struggle. It takes tremendous strength to overpower someone like that.
Sajnálom,
Erősebb volt
nem
valaki.
tudom, hogy meg tudtuk volna.
Szerintem nem tudtuk volna megbírni, szerintem ez egész arra szolgált, hogy lehet, hogy Emily is izé lett volna gyanúsított, tudod?
Azon gondolkozom, hogy nem mindegy, hogy milyen szívügyeltet használhat.
Aha.
I wonder if Elizabeth's death has anything at all to do with this pentagram.
És milyen irányban
Which was wrong or degenerated. Elizabeth would probably have been killed in the center of the pentagram, not 3 meters from her. That's strange.
Igen? Tehát miért nem itt tölték meg Elizabethet, amikor ilyet készítettek?
Egy szíves töltött a könyvvel a kávé.
Written in Elizabeth's handwriting. It is written in a mix of several languages.
Ez olyan, mint Elizabeth már nagyon régóta szétbaszta volna ezt a szobát.
Igen.
It is difficult to make sense of this jerky writing. I can make out some passages, though. He's coming. The demon is upon me. He's coming back to kill me. There she is. Death has come to finish me off. I've just run into her son. That was her last entry.
Nő, nem mondani, hogy is így vissza megölni. Meg az anyja is mindig bántotta valamiére.
A novel of initiation of a young woman who writes a notebook. It is written in a mix of several languages, medieval Latin. Not enough to translate it.
Jaj, nem ezt akartam használni.
He's coming. The demon is upon me. He's coming back to kill me. There she is. Death has come to finish me off. I've just run into her son.
Jó,
That was her last entry. What tortured writing.
Oké. Ja, tehát a csaj azt teljesen hitt abba, hogy démonok ölik meg szerintem.
Jó, azért kizárnám persze az ilyen
Itt a fegyver.
dolgokat, de csak előre látod dolgokat, amikor aludsz, nem zárhatjuk ki.
Aha.
Nem?
Igen. Hát meg lehet, hogy ki akarták űzni a démon belőle, addig oké, de akkor mi történt az izével?
Azt én mélyebbre megyünk abba a játékba, ez egyre jobban nem értem.
Difficult to know for sure how they got there. It's extremely well maintained. The barrel is perfectly clean. It doesn't load in, and there's no traces of gunshot residue. I conclude that it hasn't been used recently. Alright. I shall have to find its owner.
Hát jó, az valószínűleg izének a fegyvere. A Napóleoné szerintem, ha már levonul izé.
It's a fabric. High quality at that. I'd say it's silk. By the texture and the gray hue, it must come from a dress, that kind of quality.
Viszont a csaj az nem lehet, mert az a szóval az nem lehet. A papot látták, a csaj a kurtú, viszont nem hiszem Tulobius lenne a szóval tényleg csak Washington vagy Bonaparte lenne.
Aha, szerintem is.
Bonaparte-nek mi értelme?
Vagy az anyája.
Nem? De Napóleon miért akarna megölni?
Why did she come here in the first place? The material appears to have undergone a normal wear and tear. She must have been scouring the countryside. It doesn't look good.
Akkor azt mondja, hogy ez az anyája, nem?
High quality at that. I'd say it's
Amúgy erre lehet így bújdosik valahol, és ő gyilkoltak.
Igen. A dress, that kind of woman of quality.
Igen, ezt már tudjuk, hogy... Azt mondja, hogy az anyja lehetett. Az anyjának a izéje.
Viszont érdekes az, hogy ketten vannak a izék, nem? Szóval így lentettek.
Az is lehet.
Hogy a izé nem, a csaj, ennek az ikertes fejű ízek az anyja.
Look sharper. It's covered in blood. Still fresh. The lower part of the handle is run solely by blood. The murderer gripped the weapon so tight that there's no blood where he held it. The handprint indicates a small and slender hand.
Nő volt. Az egy nő volt.
Izének a tesó lesz szerintem.
Lehet.
Az anyja. Baszki. Szerintem már lehet, hogy így is bele van avatva, és ő terelte a figyelmét a formának, nem?
Clock is that? Hey, it's a Bordeaux. That's a Chateau Briand. It's a great wine. I don't know what's happened to this wine, but
Vágod az elején, nem mondta azt, hogy ez nem is ez a maga kedvenc bora?
Ki?
Hát az elején beszélt, amikor kajáltak, a csaj, meg a nagyon kis minket öreg bácsi, a francia csaj. És azt mondta, hogy ez a te kedvenc borod. Valamiért a beszélgetésbe belekeverték azt, hogy ez nem az izének az, hanem ez a te kedvenc borod, és annyit mondta, hogy igen.
Jó, tehát akkor itt szerintem két különböző dolog történt. Valaki megöl, itt volt egy férfi is.
Aha.
Azt mondja, hogy egy 15-ös cipő van.
Érdekes, van rajta mindenféle cucc. Szóval sátanista cucc, illuminátus izé, viszont henna festésszerű cucc is van. Van rajta minden. Megfojtották, meg ez biztos. Előtte nem, túlságosan fel van akadva a szeme.
Azt mondja, hogy elvérzett, nem tudom.
Jó, de hogy így...
Nem tudom, mindjárt kiderül.
Utána szülteltek valami.
She must have fought like a lion. Couldn't have happened without a lot of noise. Also a number of old scars.
Ja, vannak itt régi izék is, sebesülések.
so to relieve some kind of psychological suffering. By trying to master the pain, establish their self-control. The scars are superficial, made several years ago. She wasn't trying to take her own life. What's that doing here? Ancient Greek. Let's see what it means. These are sacred chants intended to protect their bearer. But from whom? Or from what?
No, félhet valami démontól. Nem?
Scarring, gosh. Scarring isn't very regular, but they're mostly from old gods.
Oké. Ez volt a keze. Nézzük a testét.
9 wounds on the thorax with a lot of blood. First sighted, say that's what caused her death.
Hey.
Some of these tattoos are veritable works of... What's that? The skin between the breasts is different. Bloody hell! This tattoo was drawn on a page of leather and stitched onto her skin. Probably during childhood. If the scars are anything to go by. It's the same kind of tattoo as on the rest of her body.
Mindjárt megnézzük. Nézd ma a fejét.
See no sign of bruising on the skull? The only clue is the scars from the previous craniectomy. Poor Elizabeth, she must have been very young when she went through all that. That's torture. She also has old scars around the neck, and many mutilations. Bleed blood from the nose.
Nem tudom ezeket. Nem tudom ezeket megnézni.
Hát azért nehezebb, mint a Sherlockos, mert nincs hozzá izém. Bocsánat.
Meg kell tudni mi az a...
Alcohol and vodka. We use it to relieve pain. Vodka. Certain courtiers use it to get drunk. Taken in large quantities, it can provoke fits of madness.
Okay.
Bleed blood from the nose.
De ezeket normál nem tudom.
Blood with no trace of blows on her legs. No tattoos. Similar to those on the rest of her body.
Volna megtudni, hogy volt ezek, hogy izé... Valaki meg akart répet szólni, vagy nem. Jó.
Blood, but no trace of blows on her legs. Let's see. No trace of sexual assault or rape.
Oké, nem volt.
Accounts are fewer than 9 wounds on the thorax with a lot of blood. First sight, I'd say that's what caused her death.
Oké. Hát megnéztünk mindent, amit lehetett.
Has Sam finished with this one?
No, I haven't gone over everything.
Sam may take his time, as I would like to have, so has only to tell me.
Jó, tehát akkor itt volt nagyobb izé is. Tehát így nem csak nagyobb lábnyom is van. Egy férfinak a lábnyoma. Látod?
Boats for feet. It's at least a size 15. Where is a size like that here? Peru?
Washington, baby.
Peru vagy Washington. Shit, nem tudom még ez a Peru. Jó, a csajt kizárhatjuk, viszont itt volt egy nő is.
De igen.
Amíg is szépen.
Szesztercűzt találtál?
Azt hiszem.
Ez vágott, hogy a Rómában halottak szemére raktál.
De ez valami
temették őket, nem?
Könyv volt.
Azt hittem, hogy ilyenét találtál, mert szesztercűzt.
Nem lehet, hogy ezért... Baszki, nem lehet, hogy nem adtuk vissza neki ezt a kurva talizmán?
I know enough for that. Thank you.
Ó, bazd meg, de. Ez megvédte volna.
Kellett itt egy nőnek is lennie, meg egy férfinak is. Mindenki a szobájában van, szóval mindenkivel lehet beszélni. Azt mondjuk, hogy menjünk körbe. Jó lenne találni ilyen ügyét. Zömmel. Nem tudom melyik. Mi?
Sorrows of a young brother. There's a handwritten text signed by Von on his
Dear
first page.
Elizabeth,
I know that this book is but a small token compared to the delightful moments you gave me, but I hope that this will nonetheless keep the memory alive. Your ever-obedient servant. So, Von had a relationship with Elizabeth, but that's hardly surprising given his fondness for the occult. Golden elixir.
Érdekesebbet találom.
Just like before it occurred, surely a move close to the owner's hand.
Ipo. Várjál.
The sorrows of a young brother. There's a handwritten text signed by Von on his first page. Dear Elizabeth, I know that
Nem mond végig.
but
Végig mondja.
compared to the delightful moments you gave me. But I hope that this will nonetheless keep the memory alive. Your ever-obedient servant.
Akkor akinél most vagyunk, az...
Von had a relationship with Elizabeth.
Melyik a Werner?
Von Werner.
Ó, ő? Azért volt rossz neki.
But that's hardly surprising given his fondness for
Az
the
ő
cult.
szobájában vagyunk.
Nézd föl, hogy
Table and alchemical symbol. Sitting encircled with zinc cell.
Zint! Zint.
Just locked with a four-letter code. Surely a move close to the inner supply.
Zint. Szép. Itt a bási. Jó lenne, hogyha feltöltődnének ezek a cuccaim minden alvásnál. Azt hittem, hogy úgy lesz, de ahogy látom, nagyon nem akarja ezt a játék, hogy egyszerű legyen nekem. Oké, beszéltünk vele? És mi az a kép? A tükör?
What can I do for you, Richet?
Monsieur, Lord Mortimer has appointed me to investigate the tragedy that befell us last night.
Oh, yes. It's horrible. Yes. How can I help?
Where were you last night?
In my room. I read a few ancient manuscripts before going to bed. But I didn't stay up long. I was tired.
Ezt miért nem láttam a álmomban, hogy mi történt?
Excuse me for asking, but did you know Miss Adams?
Oh, she... not really, to tell you the truth. No.
I found the Werther dedication, signed by your hand, monsieur. Would you like to change your version now?
Be careful, Richet. Don't push your luck. My relationship with Miss Adams was pure. It has nothing to do with you. Continue playing the detective as you see fit. But if I find the bastard who did that to Elizabeth, I will...
Yes! I would have preferred a simple response, but I see I have an answer.
Ezt nem tudom, mert nincs meggyőző cuccom. Meddig tartott, vagy hogy vége van-e ezének?
I get the impression that your romance was over. Am I right?
So? What does it matter to you? I would never have attacked her, if that's what you're insinuating.
Who put an end to the relationship? You or her?
It was her. It was her. But what does that matter? We both agree.
Exactly how long have you been seeing her?
I have no reason to answer you.
I see. Is that what you want me to tell Lord Mortimer when he asks what I found out?
It's in a few weeks.
Jó van. Nem hiszem, hogy ő volt amúgy.
We finished.
Többet nem tudok kérdezni tőle.
Take my leave.
Do whatever you have to do.
Többet nem tudok tőle kérdezni. Jó, akkor az ő szobája meg volt. Menjünk tovább. Ki tudja mi, de az álmomon. Szépen körbe megyünk mindenkin. Beszéljünk vele megint szerintem, mert most megnéztük azért a hát hogy valaki volt ott, egy férfi, nem? Már lehet, hogy nem sokat tudunk dumálni vele, mert nem nagyon tudjuk. Nincs ilyen skill getting, nem tudom, hogy lehetne tényleg így megcsinálni. Kurva nehéz a játék.
Igen.
Amúgy néztem, és azt mondod, hogy de nem, amúgy vannak önök, akiknek nincs ilyen sebb helyük.
Igen?
Peru.
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Aha.
Volt az fegyver szobában.
You were armed the night of my arrival. Can I see your weapon?
No.
You do realize you're not helping, don't you? You're making it worse for yourself.
Nem mutatja meg.
I'd like to talk about the letter you're writing. What woman is it addressed to?
Igen, azt már kérdeztük.
I'm not saying any more. There's no point you insisting.
Oké, értem.
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite.
És kérdezzük rá Zsére lámnyomos cuccra.
Ja.
I know you were at the scene. We will save a lot of time if you just tell me what.
You know nothing at all.
Enlighten me then. For now, I have your footprint in a pool of blood.
That's right. The only thing you can prove is one of my boots was at the scene. Congratulations. You wrapped up the investigation.
Ez nem jó.
Nice decor for a revolutionary tribunal judge's room.
Nem ő volt, de azt mondja, hogy egyik csinálja.
Hát nem, azt mondja, hogy ezt tudom be... Jó. Azt mondja, nem az ő izéje volt, de a fegyver meg ott volt. Tehát, hogy nem mutatja meg a fegyverét. Tehát most...
Értelem?
Hát mutatja meg a fegyverét.
Mi van akkor, hogy felül?
Oké, Napolon ki van. Valamit
Battle of Alexander Vsauce, or how Alexander the Great triumphed over King Darius. Yet another now of delusions of grandeur.
Ezt a ládát miért nem tudom megnézni?
Vercingetorix throws down his arms at the feet of Julius Caesar.
Ja, mert már voltam itt.
Just one holster in Bonaparte's gear. And the pistol is missing. On the other hand, his cleaning equipment was in mint condition. That's typical of a soldier in there.
Jó, egy fegyver hiányzik, azt mondja. Nézem, hogy miért nem tudom felvenni ezeket a cuccokat. Közben azért, mert már voltam itt. Oké. Ide? Ezt néztem az előbb, nem. Szerintem már kinyitottam.
It's a beautiful weapon. Really damask blade. It's marked with the initials of the manufacturer in Versailles. A bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier.
Monsieur de Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy.
Itt ült egész végig.
Did you hear about young Elizabeth?
Indeed, it is deeply regrettable.
Ja, meg azt mondta...
I know. You no doubt want to know my alibi. I spent the night downstairs playing cards.
Can you tell me who was present at the game, please?
Well, there were Lord Mortimer, President Washington, and Sir Gregory. And His Eminence Piaget as well. Excuse me, I nearly forgot him. Poor soul.
Azt mondta Mortimer, hogy nem velük volt.
Did any of you leave during the game?
Not that I know of. I didn't exactly spend my time noting the other guests' comings and goings, but I don't think so.
Thank you.
És megint meg kell hallgatnom. Ja, meddig?
How did the game end?
I can't say exactly. As for me, I must have stayed until midnight. I was exhausted and couldn't think straight, so I preferred to go up to bed.
Jó, de 3-kor történt.
Did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
Not in the least. The whole manor was sound asleep.
Not really. No.
Did you notice anything unusual during the evening?
Nothing at all. Except the luck of the devil of Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory at cards.
Did they win much?
Oh la la, monsieur, they cleaned us out more like. But I plan on getting it all back before we leave.
Okay.
As any good soldier would, I imagine you own a firearm. May I see it?
Oh, well, if you really want to, here is my pistol. Don't worry, it is not loaded.
Do you have several of these?
In Corsica, oui, but not on me when I am traveling. Only a bandit would carry such an arsenal.
Thank you.
Oké. Tehát akkor én kizárom őt is, én hiszek neki.
Someone saw you not far from the victim's room. Can you tell me what you were doing exactly, please?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot. I wanted to warn her to be careful. You see, on the night of my arrival, I saw someone leaving her room in haste, and I wanted to speak to her, to warn her. Unfortunately, the young lady slipped through my fingers each time. Now I know why. She had every reason to be worried. What an
Nekem az is
idiot I was
gyanús.
not to
A pap
insist.
nem, mert amikor először láttuk, őt hallgatózott a izénnyel. Várjál.
I've been studying him for a while now, and I don't think he was lying. Yet, I'm surprised how easy it was for me to read him. I'll surely be his military side. I wish they all could be like that. My investigation will be finished already.
Ja, értem, tehát, hogy azért ennyire könnyű vele dumálni, mert... Hát meg katona, és most ő vágja, hogy mi van, tehát elmond mindent, meg ilyenek, teljesen őszintén tolja az egészet. Szóval úgy néz ki, hogy nem Napóleon volt, és az ő pisztolya megvan, viszont a Peru az meg nem mutatta meg a pisztolyát, az abszolút tény. Viszont miért hazudott a izé? Miért hazudott a pap amúgy, hogy ott látott valamit? Ő látta izét, hogy arra felé ólálkodik. Mi?
Azt mondta, látta Napóleon olvasni.
Nem, azt mondta, Napóleont látta. Washingtonnal nem tudom mit, azt csak mi mondjuk, hogy... Nem tudom ki ez, de még nem érkezett meg. Valamilyen duk. Ez itt kinek a szobája? Oké, hát ez mi nem nagy segítség. Jó, vele is fogunk beszélni, de most menjél be? Menjél. Nem tudok bemenni, ja, már nincs itt. BLG, oké. BLG. Ez jelletlen, nem tudok bemenni szoba. China a szobája. Nem, Washington. Menjünk be Washingtonba. Voltak ott amerikai löttyök is amúgy.
Igen.
Meg volt ott egy cipő, de francia pisztoly volt ott.
Tudom milyen, fehér, kék és ilyen. Nem? Fehér, kék.
Pirosat nem látok. Nem szálltam be.
Könyvek, az asztal.
Nem tudtam, hogy mi az.
Ezek a kis vöröses kabukok.
Igen?
Looks like a note between Italy and Washington about trade deals.
Igen, amerikai zászló. Fűztem a szobájának.
Emily meg Washington között volt valami egyesség. Nem tudom megnézni, mi, mert nincs sem szotyi. A Peru nagyon gyanús nekem, eddig állok, nem tudom kiállakolni, mert nincs olyan szarom. Na. Jó, akkor unlockoljuk ki azt a szart először, aztán meg nézzük meg azt a díles cuccot. Jó, az nem rossz. Oké. És akkor nézzük meg azt a levelet megint.
like a note between England and Washington about trade deals. English and Americans are preparing a peace treaty. It would appear that Italy is in secret discussion with Washington about reopening trade between the United States and England. If such an arrangement came into being, France would suffer dearly.
Meg azt néztem még, hogy a Perúnak a izén ott volt egy elégetett levél, amit nem nagyon tudtunk megnézni. Kimenni nem tudunk.
Greetings, Louis.
Mr. President, you can guess why I'm here.
Of course.
Lord Mortimer has sent me to ask you a few questions about last night.
How am I going to tell Elizabeth's father that she's dead?
I know, Mr. President. I shall endeavor to find out the truth about this tragedy. I must ask you to help me, please.
Find the degenerate pig who did this, Louis.
Tell me, Mr. President, had you spoken to Elizabeth since your arrival? You know her father. You thought she was dead.
No, I didn't. And I believe I'll be taking my remorse with me to my grave. I wanted to, but I didn't know where to begin.
You can't blame yourself. You couldn't have known that her days were numbered. Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes, she came to ask me for some. She had finished her reserve, I believe.
Do you take it regularly, Mr. President?
Unfortunately, I do, Louis. I still suffer from a terrible toothache, and it's not likely to get any better.
It's just for that, then?
Old age, my young friend. I don't wish it upon you, but you'll soon see. At my age, it's rare to have no problems in that domain.
And do you take a lot?
A moderate amount, Louis. Only the dosage indicated on the prescription of my doctor.
Oké, tehát akkor van.
Do you know if she had any enemies, Mr. President?
Not that I know of. I heard about her altercation with Mr. Peru, but that case was closed, if I'm not mistaken. But if in doubt, I wouldn't leave any door unopened, and I'd go and question your fellow countrymen.
Don't worry, countryman or not, I'm not letting anybody slip through the cracks. Do you know why she came to the island?
To get help, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right?
Indeed. Sir Gregory suggested to her father that he introduce her to Lord Mortimer to see if he could help her.
Yes, Lord Mortimer has a talent for healing, apparently. I'm not surprised Sir Gregory advised her to come.
Agreed. Mr. President, we found a footprint at the scene of the crime.
Not a dress shoe, I hope. That's all I wear.
No, rest assured. It looks like the print of a big ankle boot. A large size, I'd say.
Perfect. That should help you, Louis. It's a clue.
Oké, meg vagyunk, többet nem tudtunk róla kérdezni, nem hiszem, hogy Washington az, se pedig Napóleon. Hát még mindig Peru a leggyanúsabb, de ott volt egy nő is. De az is igaz, hogy az is lehet, hogy rá akarják kenni ezt az egészet. Tehát, hogy most őszintén tényleg az ő cipője, meg az ő fegyvere, viszont azt nem értem, hogyha ez így van, hogyha rá akarják kenni a dolgokat, akkor hát mondjuk mondjuk az öreg, tudod, le tudok menni? Nem tudok lemenni. Hát tudod, a pap, mert ő mondta, hogy Napóleon ott arra felé járkált, nem? Megnéztük az összes szobát, amit eddig tudtunk. Mögöttem még van egy szoba, de ide nem lehet bemenni, nem? Ja. Szóval... Hát... Próbálj meg beszélni a pappal megint. Olyan, mint hogy valaki rá akarta volna kenni, nem? Viszont, hogyha... Akkor lehetett... Jaj, várj, még nem beszéltünk a csajjal. Elizabettel. Mármint nem Elizabettel, hanem akivel mi voltunk. Hát beszéljek előtte a pappal, úgyis itt van. Hát így tud valami újat mondani, nem?
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble. It's probably not.
Not to worry, Your Eminence. If he is innocent, then he has nothing to fear. Do you know why Monsieur Bonaparte was hanging around her room like that?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that the dashing young soldier had become infatuated with a fragile young woman. But I don't think he got a very warm welcome.
Bonaparte and Adams? But they didn't even know each other, did they?
I couldn't say that. But if I were you, my son, I would talk to Monsieur Pell. You remember how violently he set upon Miss Adams.
Oh, don't worry. He's on the list of suspects.
Viszont ezért lehet egyedül meggyanúsítani. Hát a Perút, hogy ugye mert ott volt, hogy miért szereti ütögetni a nőket, meg az is, hogy az is ott volt, hogy miért volt jó neki, hogy miért ölte meg, tudod? Völnernél már voltunk. A csajnak a szobáját kell megtalálni. És hirtelen nem tudom, hogy hol van, de ezt tudom, hogy neki is ki volt írva. A közel volt hozzá, nem? Vagy nem. Itt igen... Nehéz, nem tudom, hogy merre kell menni.
President George Washington.
Jó lenne, hogy térképen írnám, úgyhogy kinek hol. Le van zárva. Szóval Elizabethnek a szobáját kell megtalálni.
His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
Igen. Nem.
Oh, it's me. Duke Manuel Godoy.
Csajnak a szobájában még nem voltunk.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Szóval ezért meg legyen. Igen. Oké, az igen.
King George III, coronation games.
Ne, a harmadik zöld. Mi? Igen.
I received your last letter.
Tetszik, hogy elmondják, amúgy őket talán. Meg itt is vannak ilyen levelek, amiket nem tudok megnézni, pedig ott vannak.
The ladies Waldegrave are reynolds, painted upon the request of the Waldegrave family, in an effort to find their husband. Grammar of Pochai. Ah, the artistry of the French language in all its splendor. Whoever masters French commands the world, at least une partie of it.
Okay.
A letter from William W. addressed to her as the present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. She's indeed some powerful backers. 2 coils circle the lock.
Nincs meg nekem meg.
From William Pitt the Elder addressed to Emily. Who was the English Prime Minister? This letter dates from 15 years ago now. Madam,
kéne olyan cucc. Tudjak lopni, de nincs. Miért nem találok olyan dolgokat? Ezért nem akarom használni ezt a free skill-es cuccot. Ez se az.
The elder addressed to Emily. He was the English prime minister. Now the dates from 15 years ago. Madam.
What can I do for you, Louis?
I've come to see you about last night's tragedy. Did you hear anything about what happened to Elizabeth?
Yes, we all did. Rumors spread quickly, you know. How awful.
Yes,
I didn't know her well, but I hope at least the poor thing didn't suffer too much.
Elizabeth was stabbed 9 times. No doubt she suffered greatly.
9 times? What monster is capable of such a horrible thing? Do you know what happened exactly?
In fact, Lord Mortimer has asked me to look into this case.
Really? Are you Lord Mortimer's snoop now?
I'm doing it for Elizabeth, not to please me.
Good for you. Quite right, too. Have you found out anything?
Did you and Elizabeth get to know each other?
I must admit, Louis, I didn't take much interest in her. I feel a bit guilty about it, but I never actually spoke to her. She seemed burdened by her problems, and as she wasn't invited to the conference, I didn't really seek her out.
I hear you were in discussions with the Holy See.
Oh, either His Eminence can't keep his tongue from wagging, or you've been making your nose where you shouldn't, sir.
Even so, you're raising a royalist army. That's no small thing.
And you are straying from the subject. Is there anything else you wanted to ask me?
Tell me, what's the nature of your relationship with Washington?
Oh, come off it, Louis. We're not going to go into a jealous rage, are you?
No, I can assure you of that. That has nothing to do with it. You're preparing a treaty to break the ties between the United States and France.
Whatever are you talking about, Louis?
I read your correspondences.
It's not what you think. So don't go thinking there's anything personal in it.
Are you trying to break Franco-American agreements, Emily?
That's the job, Louis. We're all doing everything we can to serve the best interests of our nation. It's got nothing to do with you or us.
Why didn't you tell me about it before?
Would you have told me?
I found a torn piece of dress in Miss Adams' room. Gray silk.
Where's it from?
That's what I'm trying to find out. The color doesn't match any of Elizabeth's dresses, but I might not have found all of her clothes yet.
Good Lord, Louis, do you realize what this means? If this piece of dress isn't from Elizabeth, then it's... I don't have any grey silk dresses, Louis. Neither does my sister, since we wear the same clothes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to check.
I'm so sorry, Louis.
Como te?
Are you all right? You know, I'm sure there's a good reason why your mother was at the sea.
Thank you, Emily.
Okay.
We found the murderer.
What is it?
A dagger, quite slim.
Have you found its owner?
Not yet. Still searching the cabinet. That said, since a blade penetrated the body several times, the murderer's hand will have been covered in blood.
You think that's a clue?
The handprint was a very slender hand. Probably that of a woman.
Do you realize what that means? There are only 3 of us on the island. Bearing in mind that neither my sister nor myself had any reason to set upon the young lady, that means...
I know, Emily. I know.
Keep up your courage, Louis. I'm sure there's an explanation. You're bound to shed some light on it all.
What you say is true, Emily. I'm less and less enthusiastic about shedding any light on the subject. I won't keep you.
Thank you for answering my questions.
See you, Louis.
Jó tett. Addig oké, hogy ott volt a anyánk, de vajon ő is tette ezt az egészet? Hát szerintem ő volt, mert a maga az, hogy egy gyilkos fegyveren olyan van, az bizonyítja. A többi, a lámnyom, meg a francia cucc, az csak el lett így. A francia fegyver csak így el lett rendezni szerintem. Nem? Nézzük meg a mi szobánkon. Kérdezzem meg ezt a csávót? Törjem meg? Megtöröm. Miért ölte meg a nőt?
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions. Let's get right to it. Are you Elizabeth Adams' murderer?
That is for you to prove, if I'm not mistaken, boy. You weren't expecting me to do all the legwork for you, were you? Lazy man.
Jó, tehát akkor a nyomás az nem segít rajta.
Goodbye, sir. We shall meet again.
Probably.
You're right. We'll retrieve everything.
Ez csak egy sima újság. Nem? Hát jó, nekem úgy tűnik nagyon, hogy a muter volt. Próbálta rákenni erre a csávország. Na! Másik, golden elixir. Nézzük meg még a mi szobánkat, aztán menjünk fel. Beszéljünk a ővével. Csak kizárásos alapon amúgy a muter. Mert nincs más nő.
Hát nincs. Jó, az biztos, hogy nem egyedül volt. És a csaj is azt mondta, hogy jönnek.
Talán még a csajnak a
Igen,
szobája.
de többen.
Lehet a démonokkal beszél, nem?
Jó, de hát akkor azok volt, hogy önmaszkod. Közben elmegyek.
Jó, addig én megnézem a szobánkat, meg még egyszer a két helyszínt, hát itt találom újat. Nem?
Jó.
Táskámba.
August 20th. June 11th. A notebook written in Elizabeth's name. It is written in a mix of several languages. Not too easy to work out. Blood spatter indicates that the murder must have held Elizabeth upright during the attack. Even if Elizabeth wasn't very big, I doubt she wouldn't put up a struggle. It takes tremendous strength to overpower someone like that.
Ja, ketten voltak. Oké.
Over bottle monk is that? Hey, it's a Bordeaux. That's a Chateau d'Eau. It's a great wine. I don't know what's happened to this wine, but it's undrinkable. President George Washington. Duke Manuel Godoy. Monsieur Napoléon Bonaparte. Monsieur Jacques Perrault. Monsieur Johann van Brunn.
Hol a bank?
President George Washington.
Kavarodtam.
Monsieur His Eminence Carlo Piaggi.
Ki? Akkor itt a bank. Oké. Oda nem mehetünk.
Huh, that's me.
Oké. Itt mi nem voltunk. Ez a kifele menet. Ja. Volt ott egy nyom, ami gyullakodásra utalt, és azt mondta a csávó, hogy valószínű, hogy ezt nem... Tehát, hogy ahhoz nagyobb erőbe kell lenni, hogy ez megtörténjen.
Mármint.
Ott az izénél. Tehát, hogy ott a helyszínen, viszont a gyilkos döfést azt egy nő vitte be.
Aha.
Tehát szerintem a Peru meg az anyánk volt az, de most, most megyünk a izékhez és elmondjuk. De most mondjuk el, hogy az anyánk volt?
Hát, nem tudom, meg lehet ezzel.
Most jó kell gondolkodni, baszki.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, Lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
Will you remind me of the facts we already know about?
Elizabeth Adams was killed last night, but Piaget was with home and I until late at night. As for Bonaparte and Washington, they left us after midnight, both tired.
I believe I've identified them.
All right then. Please think carefully before you give me your answer. This is a very, very serious accusation.
I'm going to need a bit more time to review my findings about the crime.
I do understand. All the more so as it's crucial not to make any mistakes when it comes to naming the culprit.
Hát, nagyon lesz kell szedni magunkat, hogy mi az, amit állítunk tényleg. Nem?
Igen.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, Lord.
Hát a gyilkosságot egy nő követte el, de ketten voltak benne szerintem.
A nő követte el, mit is írod?
I'm sorry,
lehet, hogy
Lord,
izének a
but
tesója.
I don't have any evidence conclusive enough to allow me to name the group.
Valami támogattam.
Nem? Izének van tesója.
Search it.
Yeah. I see. Well, that's your decision, Louis, and I accept it. Given the distinguished guests and the sensitive political issues involved at the conference, I trust you'll leave me to conclude the case in my own way.
Me?
Right. It's time we spoke about your mother.
Várj már, most nem csináltam meg, vagy nem? Én nem, megcsináltam, csak még nem mondtam el. Jó, rendben.
Hát egyelőre az anyja missing, egyelőre még nem tudjuk, hogy az van vagy.
Aha.
Lukat hagy a fiának, de... Érted?
Aha.
Most annyit tudunk csak, hogy eltűnt, azt nem, hogy ő ölte volna meg, bár ki tudja. Annyit tudunk, hogy a csajt bántotta.
Mitől? Nem tűnt el? Azt mondjam, hogy bujkál, vagy azt, hogy gyakran csinálja ezt.
Hát gyakran eltűnik, az biztos, de...
Annyira azért nem.
De egyelőre még csak misszinget tudunk szoktam.
De azt mondja, hogy nem. Azt mondja, hogy vagy el van bújva, vagy pedig nem tűnt el. Nem.
She seems to be making every effort to steer clear of your guests.
What do you mean?
For the past few weeks, my mother's been playing cat and mouse, if you will. I don't know why, but it wouldn't surprise me to learn that she's trying to avoid someone. The question is, who?
And in your opinion, would she be the cat or the mouse?
I don't know.
Hát ja.
A csajt azt lelőtte, de nem tudjuk az előzményeket, hogy mi volt. Az a baj, hogy ilyen...
Leszúrta.
Az csak egy részlet volt. Nem?
Baszki. Cat.
Az a cat, akkor 100%-ig.
Mouse.
Hát nem tudjuk, a nő volt, nem biztos, 2 nő is eltűnt. Eltűnt a csajnak a tesója, meg eltűnt a csávónak az anyja.
Macska vagy egér?
Nem tudhatjuk, nem tudjuk.
Nincs olyan válasz, nem tudjuk, egyiket mondani kell.
Gondolj bele, eddig minket találtunk. És hallott a fiának lyukat, meg ilyeneket, de ő teljesen itt akarna gyilkolni, meg ilyeneket, akkor nem szólnak volna gyerekek, nem? De én nem tudom. Hát, túl egyértelmű lenne az is, nem? Hogy meg az anyja megsérült elég durván.
De mouse.
I'd like to answer the cat, but unfortunately I'm increasingly worried that she's in fact the mouse.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Eddie.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities and yours in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the cannon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Szóval
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to
Csávónak
me yesterday.
anyját, nem? Nem úgy nézett ki, mint aki gyerekben van.
So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far. Yet he told me that you had spoken and that you hadn't been able to reach an understanding.
That's putting it mildly. Monsieur Bonaparte is one of those guys who only understands people who think like he does.
Ah, I see what you mean. He is indeed rather inflexible when it comes to certain subjects. But I am still of the opinion that you can manage to get along.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me. Did my mother intend to finance a war? I'm not sure that I follow.
No, your mother's aim was not so much to partake in a war, but rather to make Monsieur Bonaparte accountable. France is in turmoil, and having support of a military man can often come in handy with it. You'll see. Once this deal is closed, I have big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play, and I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you will be able to keep your mother informed of what he says. There's something else I'd like to bring up you. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
No idea. Szerintem nem fog már mondani, hogy a könyvet akart eladni.
If only my mother had trusted me, but she remained very mysterious. I'd have been delighted to answer your question.
Is this usual for her?
As head of the Order, secrets are her bread and butter, as you can imagine. That said, it's the first time she hasn't let me in on the reason for her trip. And it intrigues me, to tell you the truth.
Well, I am sure that Sarah will explain everything once she reappears. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Valamit felfedezett, talán Variopson van, nem tudom. Vagy pedig azt, hogy elvesztette az eszét.
Szóval vagy felfedezett, vagy a másik az, hogy maybe she's Variopson van.
Melyik
legyen?
Nem tudom én sem. Vari.
Mint a...
Aha, ja, igen, múlt időben szerintem a Worry, igen.
Worry.
Melyik legyen?
Hát egy... Discover something.
Maybe she found something out.
What do you mean?
My mother has a gift for investigating. If she had picked up a lead, nothing would have stopped her.
The only thing I can tell you is
Amit
that
is hallani
Sarah
a...
had indeed
Igen.
changed. At the beginning of our stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
Okay.
You seem to know my mother very well. What did you talk about together?
Igen.
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view on practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jersey, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
Sok mindenről beszélgettek, az a lényeg.
Ah, yes. His famous cotton gin. It was supposed to revolutionize cotton production in the United States.
It will revolutionize the world, really. The potential of this invention is much greater. Tomorrow, all industries will be switching to simple but large-scale production. Of that, I'm sure.
I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Arc.
Mother lulled my childhood with tales of the Crusades. How Richard the Lionheart and Philip Augustus had to battle it out to achieve their aims. And how Guy de Lusignan, having broken his word, launched the siege of Saint-Jean d'Arc.
I see Sarah's lessons have inspired new enthusiasts. Good on you, because not everyone can claim they know as much at your age. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared.
Jó, azt
I beg your pardon? Hang on. That move, the vision of the book, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that? Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I have much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation. Until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room used as a box room upstairs.
Did you allow me to go there?
Naturally, of course. I'll send you a servant.
Thank you.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to be more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up on leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
Az zavar engem, hogy most attól félek, hogy átadtam a lehetőséget, hogy ki találják, hogy ki a gyilkos. Vagy pedig azt hiszem, ami olyasmit mondtam, hogy hogy van egy ötletem, de szeretném megtartani magamnak. Azt hiszem, én ezt akartam kihozni, de nem tudom. Most kicsit ezt...
Nem egy könnyű játék.
Tower room! Oké, hol van? Garden, underground. Hol a tower room? Go to the tower room. Nem könnyű játék, az biztos. Ha lemenni nem tudok, ez jó jel. Talán itt, ez. Van itt egy ilyen titkos... titkos genyóság. Nem rémlik, hogy az ott lett volna. Mindjárt kiderül. De itt van ez a szoba, de... Jó, hát akkor valahogy fel kell menni a tower roomba. Van ötleted, hogy hogy?
Magasomban, esetleg kívül, ki elkész a lépcsőn, vezet föl, vagy jó, utasságlatnak valami. Én nem tudom. Nézzük körbe, ha lehet itt tudni.
Ja, itt mutatja, hogy melyik szobák vannak itt. Ez a host office. Itt már lentebb vagyunk. Lefele nem tudok menni.
Kéne menni szeretjük. Nem lakni a szobájában is.
Igen.
Merre az oldalában?
Mm.
Szobájában.
Én szobámból ki tudunk menni. Tudunk bemenni a szobámba.
A miénkbe?
Aha. Hát mert nem kell oda menni most, igazából ennyi. Oké. Tower room. Tower room. Ezt tűnik annak, miért nem vagyok ott. Jó, de most senkinek se a szobája volt. Ja nem, ez az öregnek a szobája. Zárva volt eddig is. Jó, szerencsére most nem tudunk bemenni helyekre. Ez jó jel, mert akkor nem tudunk eltévedni, nem? Lemenni nem enged. Na, ide be tudok menni. Nem.
Papers in the chimney. There's a legible fragment. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be? Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there. Honey, I couldn't have hoped for better. St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio. Caravaggio painted magnificent command of black, the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtain of his illusions being raised, and receives the life of the Savior.
nem tűnik olyannak. Aztán majd mindjárt kiderül.
What is this disc?
Hm?
Oh, that reminds me of the ones my mother collects. It's magnetic.
Okay.
Raise your head and be reassured. What comes up
Miért így mondta?
is right.
Hallottad? Don't report that. Nem hallottad?
Raise your head and be reassured. What
Nem,
comes up
most se?
in the northern world is
Ilyen...
right.
Nem? Szerintem ez csak glitch. Erre kéne emlékeznem el a sztorira.
St. Paul went to Damascus, the Caravaggio.
Oké. Túl sok. Nincs annyi pénzem. Ez nem a kiállat, na onnan jöttem be. Ha nézzük meg, hogy erre műsz. Oké, zárva.
Door appears to be locked on either side. I heard something fall to the ground. A metallic sound, like a key falling to the floor. Let's see if it works.
Ennyi.
It's open.
Ennek a mintájának a szobának így a falal közben megjobbanni, és szarosba
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. St.
Paul
is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust. As if the paint has been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. No, what does that mean?
Okay. Egészségedre?
St. Paul is shown holding a sword.
Mi nem, azt így aztán mondja?
There's hardly any dust.
Szent Paul, hát az lehet a... Hogy hívják a... Egészségedre Fate menni a sword, nem? Men of Fate sword, Szent Paul. És még hagyjuk itt, nézzük körül. Ezt ismerem.
Represented by writing the word of the Lord, translated by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel.
Semmi szóval nem látok.
The New Testament.
Attól függ, mert a költőnek, vagy egy írónak a
Jóisten.
kardézé holdban.
Igen.
This book is incredibly precious. I believe this is the book my mother referred to when calling upon the Lord.
Ja, tehát akkor...
This volume dates from the first edition of Gutenberg. It's the first book that was ever printed. Pages are covered in annotations in Latin, French, and Hebrew. Someone spent years studying this Bible.
És itt el lehet olvasni ezeket a dolgokat.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Igen, majd később visszajövünk. Szerintem azon keresztül fogunk tudni.
St. John, painted by Guido Reni. Several portraits of the apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. It looks like someone touched this mold recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust. Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the apostles by Guido Reni.
Oké, akkor a... Ezért kéne elolvasnom szerintem. A Pálnak a dolgait, nem?
Lehet.
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni.
Szent Paul. Itt van Paul 1.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Oké. Több történet van itt. Ez melyik?
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. The text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
Okay. Ami 11, ugye kell valamit csinálni, meg a pilgrimekkel. Oké, akkor nézzük. Hát jó, akkor mindegyiket végigolvassuk. Ja, itt van.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come to the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. Wait, a note from Mother is carefully folded between the pages here. What does it say? Dear E, I'm glad you found this news. I was afraid the code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. Know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative, awaiting your reply, hidden behind the youngest apostle. What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
Melyik a legfiatalabb apostol?
Biztos. Akit mindig azt hiszik, akiről azt hiszik mindig hiszen, hogy Jézusnak a nője, aki mellette van, aki így csinál Jézussal.
That means it's him. He's the youngest apostle.
Igen.
Right. This pain is therefore associated with the answer which Eve had to give to her mother. Now, just need to
Az, akit mindig
know
azt hiszik, hogy nőt ábrázol, nem?
Aha.
Ott az utolsó vacsora képen. Hallod, nem?
Pain looks like it's been taken down or something. But wasn't my mother said that she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostles?
Come on,
of course. There's something written behind the painting. On the second day, the pilgrims would listen to the prophecies of the young apostles. They shall add one companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
Ennyit kaptam?
On the second day, the pilgrims listened to the prophecy of the young apostles. That was John. This mention is most likely the book of Revelations according to St. John.
Jó, de melyik?
And you know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin.
Hát ezt végignézzük.
If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us.
Mindig nem.
But he that hateth his brother is in darkness, and walketh in darkness, and knoweth not whither he goeth, because that darkness hath blinded his eyes.
Ez se. Hát remélem az utolsó lesz, mert nem tudom mi legyen. Mi lesz? Ne várj! Kettő John van.
Know that we dwell in him, and he in us, because he hath given us of his Spirit.
Két John van.
Saying with a loud voice, worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing. St. John, painted by Guido Reni. And a voice came out of the throne, saying, Praise our God, all ye his servants, and ye that fear him, both small and great. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
Okay.
And the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent. Hey, a new note, unfolded carefully in the corner of the page. The writing is, it's not my mother's. S. Found the book in your effects, but sealed it where no one can get their hands on it. I can assure you, awaiting your instructions, I will hear you reply like he who hears the angel. Here's the angel? What does that mean? Oh, it's probably the place where she was expecting to get the location of the next note.
Ami angyalos téma kéne, nem? Ki hallja az angyalokat.
Már.
The characters are created on the chest of drawers in the corner. It's sentence in Hebrew. It says, count in the dust. Alright, let's do it. Painting of St. Mark in the collection of apostles by Guido Reni. There's nothing worth noticing here.
Vajóra.
A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Reni, is represented in writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here as the
Igen, igen.
angel.
Ő lesz az. Nézzük meg a frame-et.
There's something else behind painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
Look at the frame az a...
Ezt néztem az előbb. Hát... Ki ez amúgy?
The drawing of Apostle Matthew.
Máté?
Is representative writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit.
Megszól ez a Máté?
Appears here,
Aha.
the guy's an angel.
Jó, akkor nézzük meg Mátének a cuccait. Szerint... Én úgy látom, nincs olyan.
Take heed that ye practice your justice before men, to be seen differently by them. Otherwise, ye shall have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. But Jesus turned him about, and when he saw her, he said, Daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith hath made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh.
Hát ez nem jött be.
Follow peace with all men, and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord.
Akkor próbálok több klub szerezni erről.
There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
Volt olyan, nem? Várjál.
Igen, 30 ott van.
For you are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's.
Várj, de ott van, nézd.
Igen.
Igen, ott, de ott is van.
Tudom, 2 van, de hát nem tudom melyiket kell elmenni. És megnézni az összeset. De ja, valószínűleg ez valami izés lesz.
If we have hope in Christ in this life only, we are, of all men, most miserable.
Korintusiak, nem?
Aha, lehet.
Now, therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law with one another. Why do ye not rather suffer injustice? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Ah, look, here's a message. It is of paramount importance that no one finds him. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. And that first group of pilgrims, how many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment, 6.
Másról beszélt. Ez az.
Of St. Mark, and the Collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni. There's nothing worth noticing here.
Jó, oké, nagyon jó. Itt a körbe.
All the characters are engraved in the chest and drawers on the ground. Just sickens in Hebrew.
Okay.
It says, count in the dust. Alright, let's do it. There are finger marks, deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all. That's the message in Hebrew spoke about. Hebrew 8. No, nothing of value here. It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here. But judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years.
Romy, Héber, 8-as kell. Nem.
Thou hast put all things under his feet, for in that he put all in subjection under him. He left nothing that is not put under him. But that which beareth thorns and briars is rejected, and is nigh unto cursing, whose end is to be burned.
Here's a message.
There are some complications. Indeed, the Prussian is the system. What's happening at your end? Do you need help? If tonight is not possible, let's say tomorrow evening, in the South Room, where we review the situation. When Paul understood that only the acts counted, he went back on his tracks. I await your confirmation to his left, in the company of the pilgrims who had joined him. Yeah, this last column was about their code. I should find new pilgrims near Paul.
What a pal.
St. John, painted by Guido Reni.
Okay. Mark Péter.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus, the Caravaggio. This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it. Your finger has drawn a number in a thin layer of dust. You can read the number 4.
Okay. Pál 4-es.
St. Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in his paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come?
Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue,
And if there be any praise, think on these things. Not in the lustful desire, even as the Gentiles. In him God has chosen us before the foundation of the world, that we may be holy and blameless before him.
No.
Because we look not at the things that are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal.
Nem találtam még meg.
The chest will be a cold symbol representing air.
Fog kiütni. Valami ezzel a festménnyel lesz, de nem vagyok benne biztos. Megnézem ezt is, hogy itt vannak.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guy. It looks like someone touched this blade recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Kezem semmi. Ezzel lesz valami csak. Hát is fogom is használni.
St. Paul will go to Damascus, the Caravaggio. Fierce opponent of the first Christians, St. Paul is suddenly struck by the call of Jesus Christ and converts. It's the best known conversion in Christian history, which teaches us that even enemies of Christ can be saved, and even become as great as apostles after finding faith. From what I can recall, the account of his conversion can be found in the epistles of the Galatians, the Philippians, the Corinthians, and the Acts of the Apostles. St. Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come?
Ennyi?
St. Paul will go to Damascus, the Caravaggio. Caravaggio painted magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtain with his illusions being raised, and receives the light from the Savior. This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it. Well, a finger has drawn a number in a thin layer of dust. You know, the number 4.
Nem tudok, hogy pár, meg hogy 4. De valami, az is volt így mellette.
Raise your head and be reassured. What comes up here
Ja,
from
te
the
pokla vagy.
Nem tudom.
Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, If there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things.
Hát ez nem az volt. Pedig valami 4-es lesz.
This I say therefore, and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind.
Hát ez se volt az.
Not in the lustful desire, even as the Gentiles who knew not. Because we look not at the things that are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. For we are unto God a sweet
Ezt nem tudom, miért olvastam el, teljesen
in them
véletlen.
that are saved, and in them that perish.
Itt van az. Ezeket már olvastam.
Hereby know that we dwell in him, and he in us, because he hath given us of his Spirit.
Azt mondja, hogy valamit vissza kell.
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni.
Ez is Paul. Nekünk azt kell, nem?
So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. The textile of Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11.
Igen, ezt már csináltuk.
What's the story with these pilgrims? Connection with the figure, maybe?
Igen. Valami mellette.
Strange. St. Paul is shown twice, unlike the other disciples.
Igen.
Of the 4 apostles shown in this piece, Paul is the only one who isn't an evangelist. He is the 13th apostle.
Okay.
St. Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust. The paint has been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. Now, what does that mean?
Oké, kétszer van. Nézzük meg, hát van olyan apostolok könyve, van a 13.
Igen.
Nem tudok olyanról.
Then they suborned men, which said, "We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God."
Az.
There is none that understandeth. There is none that seeketh after God.
2011-es az megvolt, igen. Mi? Még ezt olvassam el.
I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where. Hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative. Awaiting your reply. Hidden behind the youngest apostle. What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
Tudod te ezt. Ez se volt jó. Azt mondta, hogy mellette lesz. Az utolsó, hogy...
St. Paul penned by kõnnyû.
Ő nem evangéliumista.
St. Paul rode to Damascus by Caravaggio. St. Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in his paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come?
4-es szám. Hát nem tudom. Meg kell nézni, nem tudom, hogy mégis hogy... Még egy ötletem van. Láttam ezért.
Paul and Silvanus and Timotheus unto the church of the Thessalonians, which is in God the Father and in the Lord Jesus Christ. Grace be unto you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ.
Jaj.
very hungry and would have eaten, but while they were made ready, he fell into a trance. Hey, there's a note here. A message from Mother in reply to Eve. We must leave urgently, but first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Watch out for Homer. He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourselves. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare? I must go beyond the nightmare. What does she mean by that?
Meglegyen.
Hát allegorikusan értette, akkor...
Ez szó szerint.
Nightmare, hát végül...
Van egy valami fénykép, nem? Egy nightmare-es.
Nézzük meg.
Melyik legyen itt?
Clearly she must be trying to do something useful, but what? Nightmare. Does that remind me of anything?
Painting.
Object.
Probably has to do with an object or something. Granting that this is the case, where am I to be found?
Valahol volt. Nem emlékszem. Nem kint volt. Baszki. Nem emlékszem. Hol van a Nightmare Painting? Megnézem. Már felejtettem.
Thought it would have been over there, but something's telling me that it isn't. Better keep searching. Mortimer's getting his guests together. I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious.
Mindegy, majd kitaláljuk. Majd azt mondja, bejut szerintem. Nem értettem anyám messenger-t. Oké. Még level 1-es nagyjából. Mire kéne rámenni? Ó, várj, ez nem. Oké. Jó. Hármat tudunk olvasni. Questioning. Etiket legyen szerintem. Questioning, nem tudom, meg ez.
It's time I went back and joined everyone in a small salon.
You are expected in the small salon.
Hol van a nightmare painting? Meg akarom nézni, hogy még beszélne még. Próbálj meg lemenni. Nem enged le. Akkor szeretnék bemennem. Ez baj, nem emlékeztem, hogy hol van. Még elhasználtam fasságokra ezért dolgokat, ezért nem tudtam megcsinálni. Engedj B. Mi? Small saloon.
You are expected in the small salon.
Az lent van. Akkor miért nem engedett le? A bolond? Na.
Emily, I must speak to you.
What's the matter, Louis? About last night, I'm guessing.
Sadly, no. Even if I'd like to have, alas, there are more pressing matters. I have news about your sister.
What have you found out?
Look, I've started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the Order gives her access to a good deal of personal information.
Must have been Emily I saw in my vision.
I was given to understand that my mother and your sister bonded during their stay.
Some Ruby and the nightmare.
Me?
A nightmare scares me.
I've got a question that might seem a little bit strange.
I'm listening.
If I said go beyond the nightmare, would that ring any bells?
No, means nothing to me. Do you mean literally or figuratively speaking?
Literally?
It might be a place, I don't know where, but it's a lead.
You ought to ask His Eminence. He knows the house and its estate very well, being a frequent visitor here.
Thanks for the advice.
Should I speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, she might want to take revenge.
Hát igen, ez előtte a muterja, szóval... Elmondjuk neki, hogy a muter lelőtte izét, vagy hallgatunk róla, de akkor a később meg tudja, akkor faszolunk. Szerintem.
Hát én nem tudom.
A jogában állnak.
Mondjuk el?
Aha.
Emily, there's something else.
Go on then.
It's about your sister. I don't know what happened exactly, but it's possible that my mother had a go at her.
I know, Louis. I found out that same evening. Well, thanks for not trying to hide it.
No.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't know if I could trust you. Now I know I can. It seems that your mother tricked Emma. She apparently asked her to hide an important book, so that even she wouldn't know where it was. And then she shot her like a dog to make sure no one would ever find it again.
Okay.
Why would she do that?
I don't know, Louis, but I'll find out. You can count on that.
I'm sincerely sorry, Emma.
Thank you, Louis. You're very kind. It means a lot to me. But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
There must be an explanation, Emily.
That's what we shall see.
We'll speak about it later, somewhere safe.
Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
Jó, akkor jöttük, hogy elmondtuk, hogy
És azon gondolkodom, szerintem a Nightmare az abban a nagy szobában volt, ott, ahol voltak a többi
You will
cuccok.
pay dearly, Peru. I'm sure you were involved somewhere along the line.
That's right. Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back. Cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends. Let's calm down. Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest. But hardly had they arrived, and he set upon Monsieur Peru.
Who is it?
And who is this charming character?
Manuel Godoy, the Duke of La Alcudia. He's the head of the Spanish government, Monsieur de Richelieu. He's the one who, in practice, controls Spain.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mio, you are all out of your minds!
Really, Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely, in the middle of the Place de la Révolution in Paris, by decree of the National Convention which Monsieur Peru works for, King Louis was guillotined. What? The King of France is dead. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before. How dare!
Oh dear.
Friends,
let us calm down.
Don't pretend to be surprised. You got a fair trial.
Ridiculous! Bastard! He was sentenced to death by 361 votes to 360. You beheaded a king for one vote! Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious... Until anything was possible. This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen, please. Let us take a step back a moment.
In the name of holiness. He was the highest representative of God in France, Emily.
Legyen.
Claim this down.
Gentlemen, Duchess, we're all among people of reputable company here. We should be able to manage the conflicts of our nations in a respectful and orderly manner.
I fully agree with you, sir.
But
That's enough, sir.
with whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Louis Maras de Richelieu.
Are you related to Sarah de Richelieu?
Sarah is his mother. Gentlemen, this news affects us all, but I must ask you to remain calm. It's not the first time history has taken us by surprise. Let's ensure that our respective countries are allowed to respond appropriately to this news.
Oh, rest assured, the response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, here I was preparing to introduce you as is proper, and you've beaten me to it. I'm delighted that we are all together at last. Our meeting will therefore be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few more little preparations to take care of before you all find out the reason for your presence here. In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another. When you hear the bell, please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Could you spare a moment, please, sir?
I'm glad you asked. I want to talk to you, too. Of course.
I heard about your mother's disappearance.
He looks concerned.
Holy chance, Luca.
Why, but it's from something alone.
Any news of her?
Igen.
Have you found her, maybe?
Olyan. Nem látok. Ismeri. Most erre mit mondja?
Mi a kérdés?
Hát, hogy megtaláltam anyámat.
Ha nem.
Én nem tudom azt mondani, hogy nem. El tudom küldeni az anyjába, meg megkérdezni, hogy van-e valami köztük, vagy valami.
Jó.
To hear you speak, it sounds like you and my mother were close.
Let's say I hold your mother in high esteem, yes. We were even planning to work together.
That's what I was getting.
Did she tell you about our arrangement?
Meg. So this is why he's saying est.
Cat's out of the bag now. More or less, but please do refresh my memory.
Yes, of course. Nothing of great importance in itself. During one of our discussions, she spoke of an old book which might have been of interest to me, and she had agreed to let me have it.
A book about what?
Ancient occultism. As you are aware, I am a doctor of theology. You might have come across some old books in her belongings, perhaps?
Megszállottnak néz ki, string him along, nem. Majd legyen. Azt, hogy megszálltak néz ki, mondjuk azt neki. Mondhatjuk.
Nem tudom, nem biztos.
String him along.
No.
Mi no? A no azt nem jó szerintem.
Akkor nem tudom. Akkor azt lehet?
Nem.
Akkor...
The least one can say is that he doesn't beat around the bush. Sarah never travels without a few books. What does the one you're looking for look like exactly?
It resembles a grimoire. It's divided into 7 parts, each one individually. It was made in such a way that if someone tried to tamper with it, the sheets would be permanently tarnished. It's a unique copy. There's only
Nem, az nem arra van.
Mention his face light up. Well, I'll take a closer look, but I can't promise you anything. You seem very upset. Is it so important to you, this book?
Well, it's the search of a lifetime. What can I say? Every time I move closer to it, it seems to slip away at the last minute. I was very surprised to learn that your mother had it in her possession. I thought it was with a certain von Borchardt in Paris. Do you know him?
A akitől elloptuk. Ismerjük.
Hát akkor...
Yes, szerintem.
Indeed, my mother and I had a brush with this individual just a few months ago.
What about?
About an object stolen from the Order a few years ago, which my mother wanted to recover.
This situation comes as a great surprise to me.
I got it now.
Ja,
I hope I've been able to satisfy your curiosity, Mr. Von Vollmer, and that you succeed in finding what you're looking for.
Oh, that's so good.
And now, what if you told me who you really are working for, instead of keeping up this pretense?
I beg your pardon?
We both know what you're looking for, Von Vollmer. You're the one who Von Burchert was planning to sell it to.
For centuries, all those who have come into contact with the Al-Azif have bitterly regretted it, Monsieur de Richet. You are playing a dangerous game. Please know that I am working for someone who does not appreciate anyone poking around in his business.
Let me guess.
Szerintem... Hon? Nem biztos. Hát tudom... Hon, vagy... Hát, Russia királya, vagy hol?
Mortimer? Nem lehet?
De, lehet.
Melyik legyen?
Legyen Mortimer haszonló, de lehet Holmaz.
Nem tudom, fogalmam sem ezek közül egyiket se. Nem hogy tudom, melyik a Mortimer, tudom, melyik a Holm.
A Holm az a parókás.
Szerintem is az a, aki... Hol a Holm? Itt van Holm. Ennek dolgoznak.
Hát ott volt a üzén, és akkor van nekünk jött ezért, nem biztos. Mortimer.
Melyik legyen?
Legyen a Mortimer. Ja.
Lord Mortimer.
Oh, you are way off the mark. There's nothing more for us to say. Goodbye.
Lehet, hogy egyik se volt. Nem?
Ja. Vagy a... Herceg, nem tudom. Oj, ez mind zöldögös kép.
Bizony gondolkozom, hogy volt olyan Nightmare-es kép. George Washington a dumája?
És a pap azt tudja ezeket a dolgokat, a csaj azt mondta, hogyha a helyet vagy objectet keresünk, a papot keresünk meg.
De Washington is volt még sokszor.
Akkor keresd meg őt. Az a baj, hogy mi helyet keresünk, nem tudom, hogy most koncept, vagy mi lesz.
You'll be on the night line. Does this line remind you of anything in particular?
You caught me unaware here, Louis. Let me think about it a second. No, nothing comes to mind. Sorry, Larry, but I am unable to help you.
Ez az a kép, nézd.
Ó!
Ezt keressük.
Az a... Mi szóval nincs?
Thank you for your time.
Don't mention it, my young friend. Regarding the question on the nightmare, don't hesitate to question the others about it. Maybe one of them knows more than I do.
That's a good idea. Thank you once again. I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay.
Menjünk a
Izés.
szobába.
Nekem úgy rémlik, mint hogy abban nagy szobában lett volna, nem abban a képesben, vagy talán itt.
Na, ez?
Nem, ez valami malac. De itt a bácsi.
Louis, just a man. Good Lord.
How did the king come to be executed? I would think that the order would have intervened.
Nem szereted a bácsit? Hát, én most erre nem tudok
I invite you
válaszolni.
to speak about it with my mother as soon as she reappears.
Is there any news of her?
I hope it won't be long before I find her.
Now you wanted to speak.
If I say the nightmare to you, does it make you think of anything?
Your question is strange, my son. Difficult to say. Could you at least tell me a little more about the context?
Ezért a object. Aha.
Well,
Igen.
I mean, if it were a place or an object found on this island, what would you think of first?
The nightmare. No, I don't see it.
Urva.
Sorry.
Well, that's too bad.
Ah, wait. I suppose it might be that horrible painting.
Igen.
Mortimer's study.
Pretend not to be that interested. Right. Well, don't worry about it. I was just curious. I'm sure a man like you is in the circle of trust. Would you know?
Mortimer szobája van.
Mortimer office.
The conference that Lord Mortimer mentioned is going to be about?
Not really, my son. Well, be it Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory, and never inform about the team conference before it begins.
Thank you for everything.
Jó, akkor próbálok felmenni.
More of your time.
You are welcome, my son.
I will be seeing.
Nem?
Igen. Elég kéne ezt ezért.
Beszéljük vele?
Beszélhetsz, ha akarsz.
Nem tudom.
What do you want, Louis?
Hát csak... Nem, nightmare... nem, csak...
Unfortunately, I have things to do.
Jó, akkor ezek csak így léteznek, hogyha nem tudnám esetleg a nightmare cuccot, akkor... Igen, emlékeztem, hogy van olyan festmény itt valahol, de nem tudtam pontosan, hogy hol van. Jó lett volna, hogyha rájövök még ott a szobába. De akkor ezek szerint itt lesz egy titkos szoba.
Maybe.
Vagy valami ott a Nightmare-rel kapcsolatban.
So, what did my mother mean by going beyond the nightmare?
Okay. Ott van.
Now, what have we got here? It looks like a model of a lock. It's like Mortimer's fond of complicating things, and let's take a closer look.
Mikor kell venni egy csokit? Nem?
Nem.
Minor bird.
Sarah Dorishe? Waldo Sarah?
Hello, pretty boy.
Én neki valami finom.
Nem.
Might come in handy.
Igen, azon az áll.
Mindjárt.
It's a book on the history of the Crusades. I don't think it has any connection with my research.
Ja, nézzük meg a képet.
The nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781. This must be what I was talking about. They just need to find out what she meant by go beyond. Hey, looks like it's mounted on rails on each side. It should lift up, I think. There must be a mechanism somewhere.
Azért bírom oda. Csinálja, lehet hang. Aha, ott felül látod, van valamit tekerősgetni?
Igen. Ide lejön ideig, nem? De nem?
Nem.
Megy tovább. Várjál. Ott is van. Jó, az nem derül ki, hogy hol van vége.
Valami indítja be. Szerintem adja madárnak kell.
Ez még indítál be.
Let's take a closer look. Dark chocolate beans. Very bitter. They're greatly prized in high society.
Na, annyit tudom madárnak, hogy jönnek ilyen.
Miért?
De ezt, nem lehet.
Ja, megölöm.
Ez van. Így de bőr.
Csokit vagy Red Berries-t?
Veri. Akkor csak.
Miért?
What have I done? Looks like I killed